Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, everybody, it is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. We've got Samantha here. How you doing, Samantha?
Hey, I am good.
Oh, over there with her, well, we should probably announce him last, on the couch, giving us news, opinions, currents events, the most currentest of events. You may know him from Bungalower. You might know him from Bungalower in the Bus. You might know him from being around town, hosting and judging almost any competition you could think of.
Or sleeping over with your dad.
Sleeping over with my dad. It is our very good friend, Brendan
Hey.
O'Connor.
Hey, I'm eating a muffin.
All right. There's a first time for everything.
Hey!
He's gay.
And last but not least,
on
our
the Jim Colbert
official,
That guy's gay.
our official studio lizard, Luca, is here as well.
Luca.
Luca is, man, and now Tom is trying to squeeze every bit of promotion and money out of Luca.
The ideas he was saying in there, I was
Tom
like, you
told
gotta
me
stop.
this morning, Brenda,
What?
that I have been shackled with the task of writing a full-blown, I'm writing a
bio.
a bio for him.
Oh, where he's been and what he's
He's
seen.
going to have a landing page on
Well,
the
he's
website.
hot right now. Everybody
Got
loves
his own
him.
email address.
I
now.
have to start sending out press releases to 2, 6, 9, all the major print publications.
Regrowing his tail. I want to know why.
Yeah,
Need a
he's-
Luca sticker.
he wants a
Which
Luca
you can request on the
t-shirt.
website.
We're doing a
Just hit
beer
the
for
button.
me. He canceled my beer and wanted to do a Luca beer. It's
Wow.
the whole show has been turned upside down. He's trying to maximize, just like any other good 70s and 80s sitcom.
Yeah.
Where the dad, the bumbling dad, or Schneider from One Day at a Time, has a crazy scheme to use this lizard. We're gonna be rich. You know, I can see it.
I love We're Gonna Be Rich.
He's doing the
It's an
bumbling
awesome-
70s and 80s sitcom like Schneider
Yeah.
from One Day at a
Well,
Time.
why not?
He's like, we got a lizard. He can. Hey, he's hand fed. We need T-shirts and koozies and foamy fingers. We're gonna be rich.
I don't give a shit about Luca.
What?
I don't give a shit about Luca.
You get the fuck out of here.
Oh
I
my
don't care.
God.
I
Listen.
don't fucking care about no stupid lizard.
That's what I said at first, and
That
then
is what you said.
Yeah,
then
go through your emotions here,
Now
because
now I've bequeathed Luca
he
to
took-
Tom
hand
because
feeding
Hold on,
it.
this motherfucker stole your desk.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
took
No,
your
I didn't-
desk.
no, it's just
There's
a corner.
You know what you can do is you can clean up the shit now that you're feeding him so
why
much.
don't you vacuum once in a while?
Did he shit on the couch?
Here, hold on. You want to
No,
go
he
to
sh- he
look at a
shits
Luca
on the-
cam? There's Luca
it's
cam.
tiny little white shits. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
I used
Yeah,
to
but
have-
there's a million of them down
There's
here.
Luca. I had
It's
to
like
make
it snowed
I'm
in
feeding
here.
them too much.
I had to make it so
I know.
you could see Sam peeking over the top. There's Luca on Luca cam, but Luca is a
Brendan.
standard Cuban
Okay.
anole, Mexican anole. That he's a brown anole, and he
I used
He's
to
an
keep-
anole
I used
of
to keep
color.
them as
How
pets
dare
when I
you.
was a kid
yeah. Well,
in Canada, and they'd get away.
well,
like,
this
run away.
one doesn't want to get away.
No.
So were you able to hand feed yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize
This is wild though. Like this is you should not be able to. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And now that it's just chilling.
Yeah. This is a
That's what he
weirdo thing.
does. He does that for 20
was on-
hours a day.
It was on It was crawling on Daniel's hand. It
I
had
couldn't
no
get it
problem.
Well, they're cold blooded. You got AC running in here,
But
so
he-
that's why it's just chilling on the hot battery all day.
He
It doesn't
didn't
mean-
want to be off of me though. Like I was offering
warm.
him everything
got
that was
hot
better,
hands.
and
You got hot hands.
he's like, I like your hot masturbatory hand.
Yeah, it's soft too.
Yeah, soft masturbatory
So
hand.
Brendan, what this is like yesterday, I'm hand feeding this lizard.
The
and
mealworms.
it's blowing my mind. And so then, like,
I actually saw you soften a little bit. Like, it is
Wow,
one...
you look very excited.
It takes
you
a
even brushed
lot
your hair
to
from...
win this guy over, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it takes a lot to get any... I mean, you think
Well,
there's
it's
no emotion.
not a
We know
lot.
it's in there, but it's put in a different
Maybe
spot.
if you were cool like Luca.
I rarely see magic. This is magical, right? What the hell's the chance a random outdoor shit lizard just wanders in here?
Don't call him a shit.
Well, he was a shit
I mean, he
lizard.
does shit a lot.
This is like Pretty Woman. I
Sir
feel...
shits a lot.
Oh, my God. This is like Pretty Woman, and I feel like Richard Gere.
So
We brought him inside, and I'm like, pick out anything you want.
Sans
Okay.
gerbil.
So I was in my backyard.
No, with.
Oh,
I
okay.
prefer with.
The twinkle in your eye then.
2 days ago, okay, I have like I work out in my backyard now.
I'm
like
sorry?
a couple days a week. That's
Doing what? Jumping jacks back
No,
there?
I do
Yeah, I
pull
know.
ups on my
I know.
kids'
Jacking off and
playground.
looking straight at his neighbor. Just looking straight at his neighbor. Just
Well, I
working
got
out.
the idea from my neighbor. He
I was
works
gonna
out.
say, didn't he used to do
Yes,
that too?
yeah, and I was like, well, that's a good idea. Anyway, but
Just her eyes peeping
You got
over.
really high, didn't you? And you stood out back,
No.
and then the lizards came to you.
No,
Oh,
wha-
Lizard King. I am the Lizard King.
As I'm working out back there, I see other brown and old lizards like
Yeah.
wander, and then
They're everywhere, dude.
I start to like reach my hand towards them, thinking
No,
like maybe
it's not
they're
the
all
same.
like they'll
It's not
all
the
come to
same.
me.
It's a dangerous game you're playing. You can't just go grabbing women's asses.
No.
You can do that to your wife in the kitchen,
And
but
then-
you can't just forget where you're at and be in
No.
Walmart.
And then
No,
they just
I learned
scurry.
that.
They scurry away like all lizards do. And then I'm like, we found some anomaly
What
lizard.
if he's a little?
Something
What if he's
different.
unfortunate a little?
Well, okay. So, like, you know, I went to school for environmental science. So
Okay,
I know a little
God,
bit of,
you are so
I know a
fascinating.
little bit of shit.
We've had a smart week on this fucking show.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had a lot of fringers?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of artsy fartsies, a lot of smartsies.
Legendary music
yeah.
producers.
We
Oh,
had a good
great interviews, by the
yeah.
way. If you want to go back and listen to any of our Fringe interviews on ACT, they're all on there.
And I consider you. It's
Uh-huh.
going to be you or Ross, but I'm giving you the nod. You are our smartest
Oh.
fourth mic.
That's nice.
Yeah. Ross is
pressure.
the anger sometimes.
Well, the
knocks-
other one is Seth, so
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
You're fine
It's a
in
low
that
bar. It's a
department.
low bar. And
And
Ross
he's got
is
a
up
pretty
there.
nice
Ross
stick,
is up
though.
there.
Ross is up there, but his anger knocks it down.
Yeah.
His anger knocks
Seth
it
gets
down.
mad, too.
Yeah, and dumb. Real dumb. Pretty.
Big dick.
Massive.
Yeah.
Not
Thick
massive.
and pink.
but
It's,
big.
it's massive.
Oh,
Compared to
You've
mine,
seen
I was
bigger?
measuring. You guys ever lay in bed and measure your dick when
No,
it's
no.
really
Come
being
on.
your dick?
What do you
Come on.
measure it with?
My fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, because this is an inch.
Yeah, this is an inch, right? So I
This-
go
this-
and
this
I go
first
like
knuckle.
that. Like so, this morning I'm laying
It's
in
an inch
bed
right
and my
there.
wife puts her hand on me like she always does to be like, okay, yeah, good morning. I'm like, good morning, and I'm laying there and I sleep with my hand. I sleep like a sarcophagus, and I reach to my dick and I go, it was this big.
Come on. Don't tell me.
It was
Was
one.
the fan on?
Don't tell me.
There's always a fan.
Are you
on.
like that old man that just walks into the gym changing room naked?
No, I'm a little more
With his
modest.
little
than that. I don't even
dangler?
know why I brought that up. Where are we going?
We're just
the
the
processing.
lizards. The
Oh.
lizards.
I also
Your
wanted to
little
tell
gnome
you,
dick.
going along with not washing my coffee cup, I have an outdoor workout cup that I just leave outside now, and I
Oh,
fill it up.
raccoon shit, crazy.
And I fill it up with a hose, and I drink out of the hose now in my
Are
backyard.
you trying to toughen yourself up now?
Yes, I am.
You're giving
yeah,
yourself
that's-
cancer.
no, well, that'll make me tough.
When
and
you're
weak.
young, you do these things to toughen yourself up.
Yeah,
when you're
at
old,
this
you do
point,
it
it's too
to,
late.
to kill yourself.
Yeah.
No. You can always start later.
Okay, yeah. It's never too late to have grit. Write that down.
Anyway,
It is.
so how you doing, Brendan?
I'm good. Got a mouthful of muffin.
Yeah, that's.
I got a couple things.
Mouthful of muffin.
So I follow Brendan O'Connor on Facebook and social medias.
and everybody should, yeah, because also it's a good way to find the things that you might want to be doing, because
Around
that's nice.
town. yeah.
normally you're going and doing the fun stuff. You're doing the drag bingo at the tactical, which is
Thank
looking really
you.
good. Well done, well
Thank
done.
you. And we might have protesters next week.
Well, we'll
exciting.
handle that
So-
as it comes.
No, I'll show up.
Well, every time I see a protester, I'm like, "What are you doing
Go
with your
home.
life?" With anything,
Yeah.
even if like
Go to Beefy King, get a
I was
sandwich.
like,
You'll be
what-
fine.
John
Go
was
get a-
like,
who
they're
does
basically sign spinners
You're hungry.
telling people there's something fun happening inside.
Yeah.
So
Who's got
get to
time
protest.
for anything? I was standing there with a sign.
You're
with it.
hungry. You're grumpy
Yeah,
and
go
hungry.
work out in your
grumpy and
backyard.
You
Yes,
just go
I'm not-
get yourself a burrito.
You're not doing anything.
No, you're not
Anyway,
doing it. You're wasting your
So
own
you
time.
follow me in Publix, he said.
On social media,
Oh, okay.
and then I saw that you went to that strip club with the the UFO on top of it.
Oh, I didn't go in. I didn't go in.
You
Well,
should
that's fine.
have. A lot of
I
people.
want to talk about the UFO.
A lot of people that are obsessed with those is Futuro.
Yeah.
The
UFO
is
Futuros.
Futuros?
Yeah.
A lot of people that are obsessed with that. I actually, because of you, I got on another website and started looking at people that apparently a lot of people are obsessed with that. We have one in Tampa, but they won't go in because you have to pay. It's their VIP room.
It's like, it's like the lap dance room apparently.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's at least $200 to get in.
Yeah.
And then they'll do the
I
lap
got
dance.
that.
up there.
Let's do it. Let's
But I
roll.
heard it doesn't
Danny
end.
loves the strip.
It doesn't end with a
There's a
lap
happy
dance.
ending. Yeah.
No, in the UFO?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
If you
Wait
go-
a minute.
they take you out of this world. You know what I mean?
You have heard that
They
if
give
I
the old
pay
mouth swirl out of the
$200
world.
and I go into
Yeah.
the
Look at the thread on the Facebook. People were saying.
people will jack me off in the UFO for $200.
And it was
I
in
think
a
I could get a
video
pass
game.
from Andrea to do that.
Did you see the video game it was in? Was it Grand Theft Auto?
Probably, but I didn't.
It
no, I
wasn't
don't know.
Grand Theft Auto. You're
Yeah.
right.
So like the strip club is famous. Yeah.
Wait, which one was it in? Because there's
I don't know.
I-
Grand Theft Auto Tampa.
No. I think they just borrowed the aesthetics of that strip club being like a space themed. I think
Yeah.
it's Odyssey.
The
Space
sign,
Odyssey,
though, it's the exact
2001. I think
2001 Odyssey.
Yeah, I think they
strip
borrowed
bar.
that because like those designers, when they're doing those games, they'll
Yeah.
find kitschy things to kind of
Yeah.
borrow from real life.
Scotty wanted to go to Tampa to see his friend Bruce. You might have had on the show before.
Bruce. Campbell.
Maybe.
No, but I love Bruce Campbell.
Okay, all right.
That
I'm trying to
chin.
think of Bruce.
Woo, young
Willis.
Bruce Campbell.
Springsteen.
Oh my God, it was Bruce Willis.
was
And he
Bruce Willis
in
in a
a
show
come on.
about a rat, Happy Rat. It's like post-apocalyptic. Somebody was living in Disney, and now he's telling the stories of Disney post-apocalypse, like in the future. And it was really weird. It was for Tampa Fringe, so we had to go support our
nice.
friend for Tampa Fringe.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, I have some weird shit I want to see while we're here.
It's the trade-off of the relationship is we went to see Bruce.
And then I have a Google map of things I put on from roadsideamerica.com.
And
Right.
one of them
Love it.
is
And one of them is that UFO
Did you feed any
Futura.
of the street chickens while you were down there?
I saw them. They
Can
didn't
we
let us
get
get
rid
close.
of all
They've
the
taken
chickens?
over.
Oh
No, awful.
my
There's
God.
more
a-
chickens than people
there's
now.
We
a
gotta
street
get street chickens where? In Tampa?
In
Yeah.
Tampa, in,
It makes
in
sense.
Ybor.
Tampa is full of street chickens.
But there's an Ybor chicken alliance,
the
and they
Ybor
look
Chicken
after
Alliance.
them.
Can we
Ah.
kill all those people?
That's why they
No.
populated so much.
I want to go. Scotty wouldn't let me go. I
Yeah,
wanted
Scotty's,
to go to the
'cause Scotty's
spot
a smart man.
where they it's like a hub, and they look after all the street chickens together. Those urban chickens.
Wait a minute, is this like what are those guys that wear the red satin jackets and the red berets and they protect
Oh, yeah, the
citizens?
Guardian.
The Guardian
I love that
Angels?
shit.
Is this
I
the
love
Guardian
it.
Angels for chickens?
Yeah, we had Pink Panthers for the gays up in
Yeah.
in New York.
So you guys walk around and you're the Street Chicken Defense League and you walk
Yeah.
around and you're like
Well, what are you defending them against?
people
like me, people like me that hate them.
What the-
I go
Are
down
people
there, I'm gonna
trying?
stop these
Yeah,
chickens
trying
good.
to fuck a chicken.
No,
No, people
trying
are
to
not
do that.
fucking chickens.
People run them over.
Yeah.
Well,
People
I-
throw shit at
Well,
them.
that's
Okay.
because they
I
run in
am-
the road.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
okay with chickens
But
getting
why?
run over.
But why?
Why are they running in the road? Because there's too many of them.
Why they cross the
Because
road?
they're
Tom?
farm
Oh,
animals
God
and they're
damn it.
not.
No,
No. I'm not
I
gonna
didn't need
play.
you to laugh.
No,
It was good enough for me. I thought I was hilarious.
Finally, we get to a subject that I'm serious about, and you guys are not taking it seriously.
How about hating chickens?
I think I'm okay with you having them in your backyard in a coop. Totally okay with that. Our buddy Austin Rouse has that.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Fresh eggs, love it.
No,
But-
Bustecker has that.
Bustecker, fine, love it.
We can't
But-
illegal chickens.
But
they're
I
illegal.
do not like the Oviedo chickens. Like hey, we got to go to the potato patch breakfast place. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, look at the chickens running around. No,
Why?
I don't want
Well,
that. I don't
they're-
want
they're-
street chickens. Chickens are disgusting. They shit everywhere.
They're just
Go to
want-
Chicken Shit Bingo at Wild Wild West End.
Is it 'cause they
again,
eat
that's
lizards?
different. Those are controlled chickens. It's just like kids in a restaurant. I don't want your kids running around the tables. I don't want your chickens running around the streets.
Yeah, they're pecking at goddamn cigarette butts.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Garbage.
I don't want to
cleaning up
look
the
at that.
trash.
I'm out on a date with my wife. I'm wearing Z Cavarici pants. I'm trying to get a blowjob. I do not want to see. That was for you. I do not want to see
was good.
your
I
street
laughed.
chickens running around as
know
I'm
me.
wearing my tiny purple Z Cavarici with 1,000 belt loops. 1,000 belt loops.
It might be the coffee talking, but that was funny.
So-
I had them. I had them, Brendan.
Brendan, how was the belly flop competition?
Oh, awesome!
It looked amazing.
The
Have we not talked
pictures
since
look
then?
great. No.
Yeah. Oh man, such a great event. I want to say like maybe 2,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like we need to start doing belly flop contest.
Well,
we got the bellies.
You were invited.
We
Yeah.
were gonna go out
Yeah.
there, and then but it was Tommy's birthday.
You would have been better judges than the Orlando food babes.
Uh-oh.
Nothing
my God,
against
don't
them.
throw heat. Why
They
you
didn't
throw
No,
heat?
throw the heat.
Thrown it. I'm too late.
Oh my God,
Done
what
It's been thrown.
What did the
Done been
babes do?
thrown.
What did the babes do?
That heat done been thrown.
Oh, really?
They didn't know what a belly flop was.
Oh,
they were
my
giving
God.
out 4s
You can't
and
be a
5s
fucking judge
for
if you
people
don't know
who
what
were
it is.
diving head first in the pool. They gave someone a 5, and I had to say in the microphone,
God.
"You don't know what the fuck a belly flop is."
Good on you.
And that person's paraplegic now.
And the
too.
girls were like, "What? What's happening?
They looked cool.
I
did
not like belly.
We're just food babes."
I like giving people negative scores. I don't know if you saw
That was our karaoke
we were so
BDM
mean.
event.
We
They
were
were
so
very
mean.
sweet.
Somebody got -2.
I don't know if you know this.
Oh, I
but-
gave some shitty scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you get
How was-
negatives?
No, I
Oh, okay.
didn't. I wasn't clever enough to think negative. I should.
Oh, you're
Gotcha.
clever enough.
Yeah,
There were a
it's-
few.
It's a slap in the face. I like
we
it.
like
Yeah.
to be like
I was
according to
offended
the
by some.
emails that we get, especially a lot that we got this week. We love to be mean to our listeners.
Oh, they
And
like it.
so when they perform on stage and help us out, we're like, get the fuck out of here.
No, we got some emails that say different.
We'll do it again. It was great. Everybody loved it.
Can we be a part? Can we?
Yeah, officially.
Let's just do it. Let's get it on the books now. That way we can't,
Okay.
playing around.
Are you
it.
doing it again next year?
Yeah. I would love to do it again in the fall.
Was there any problems or
No problems.
controversy? Who won?
Well, okay, maybe. There was one girl, Orlando Plant Lady. She's a Instagrammer, TikToker. Do you follow her?
No, but there's
look
a
at- do you
rival
see Tom
plant
get mad?
person in
Tom
Orlando.
get mad?
I don't get mad.
She lives in
Yeah,
the View downtown with
You
a
know what I've
penthouse,
learned now?
and she
I
has
can
the-
read your eyebrows.
No.
Yes, I
you
can.
can't. No, you
Just
can't.
like
They
your
wiggle.
Grandpa Merle. I
They
can
like
read.
when they wiggle, wiggle.
They
You're
are
like Scotty. You have this innate reaction
they're
to not wanting
expressive.
to be known, and you're like,
No,
I'm
no.
not predictable.
They're expressive eyebrows. His eyebrows are a whole different show. Just watch
Yeah.
them on the YouTube. Trust me.
You can't read me. I can't read it. It's a whole thing.
She was great. She got all 5s, but for some reason she didn't get called back for the finals. And I didn't notice until afterwards, and people
that's
were
your
like,
fault.
"Well, what happened to Orlando Plant Lady?" And I was like, "Oh, bitch, you're right. I don't know.
yeah.
I was just a judge. I wasn't running.
Have we
I wasn't
checked on her?
running.
Is
it.
she still alive?
Yes,
Okay.
but
You-
sad because she didn't get called back for the final, and she should have.
We should bring her in
So
here
who
to talk
won?
about this controversy.
This guy Joe from Maine. He had
Maine.
was he a bigger dude?
no.
Oh, really?
And actually, he had a little bit of chub, a little
Yeah,
bit.
he was a daddy. He's a dad.
Not a
bod.
lot of hair.
No.
And when he hit
Dad
the
bod.
pool the first time, it was like the water was kissing his belly. Like that sound was like a,
Wow.
like it was perfect.
Oh, it was
Everybody
like-
audibly heard like the suction of the pool hitting his
Ah.
belly, and then he repeated it again.
You
Nobody
didn't
else
pipe
was
that
getting
in.
the
You didn't pipe that sound
sound.
effect in like the Atlanta Falcons.
No.
Get a fine for that.
He was real.
So
Yeah.
Also
Great event.
Yeah.
Holler at Ford. Connect Ford for hooking us up.
Oh, nice.
We
There
powered
you
it
go.
with a Ford Lightning. The whole stage was powered with a Ford Lightning. We just plugged it right into the
Look
back.
at this guy doing the cool stuff.
Oh,
It was so fun.
But our shit's always powered by some fucking loud ass generator.
We can hook you up. We can hook you up. We're doing concerts with them with the Ford Lightning.
Nobody can hook us
All
up.
right,
Brendan.
we got
It's just-
Chevy as a sponsor. Don't talk about it.
Ew.
Where's
So
theirs?
I started talking to Daniel about this Mid-Journey app, and it's
Love it.
fascinating to me. And I know Brendan
I think
knows
Brendan's going to teach you about
this too, but I saw it at like an advertisement, and then it looked like an art AI that you could just like ChatGPT with words.
Yeah.
You put in what you want the art to be, and then it curates it from the internet and then puts it together. And what I was telling Daniel, I saw like someone said alcoholic Donatello.
It's
from Ninja.
Donatello.
Why do you, I do have to ask, why do you say Dom?
Because he's
Tello.
dominatrix.
No. I it's the same thing.
It's Don. It's
Don.
Don, like Dominic, or Don meaning Donald?
And then it drew it, and then I was like, well, is it taking a
paint right
picture
over
that
it.
it found, or is it creating itself, and then apparently it's creating
taking,
it itself?
Yeah, and you can actually watch it when you're doing it. It's assembling. It starts out as like a hazy mess, and then it slowly sharpens, and then it's just taking different things and cobbling it together like a collage almost.
And then
of
making
different elements and making new images, but sourcing from other images on the internet, which is why a lot of people hate it because they say it's stealing from actual artists and photographers. Like you could say, it's just prompts. So you could say, gnome gorilla fighter.
Let's do it. I got it up.
Okay,
Yeah,
Let's go with Brandon. He's better.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom was struggling with his creativity over
no,
there.
I said Ratatouille
do I gotta
water
go
skiing.
imagine?
And it made it.
So imagine, it's slash imagine spacebar, and now because it's in the Discord chat.
Yep.
You have to type it into the chat box on Discord, which is that social media platform.
Well, Daniel subscribed to some app.
Yeah, that's through it.
Yeah,
okay,
through
okay,
Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, like $30 a month or something.
Oh no, I didn't check.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Well,
my God.
dude,
I'm doing it
For-
because we use it for like stories. Like if I can't, like if there's like a dog adoption or like there's something and I don't have a picture of a dog, I'll be like, dog looking sad,
Sure.
teardrop.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about the.
Maybe we should use that for our room.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know what I'm talking about.
For IP
Just
reasons.
ignore it.
Yeah.
They
might
own
got
the
us in
IP
trouble.
though. Like everything you're generating, they own. Like you're really actually generating NFTs for Midjourney, and they can actually sell them themselves.
Okay, but you can use them for
But you can use them, because it's open IP kind of. You're fine. You
Okay.
can use it
So they're not going to come
All right,
back
so
to
what are we
you,
doing here?
for now. So let's So
Yeah.
so now you have to do the subject first. So let's say lizard
Okay, yeah.
lizard riding a bike. Okay.
Okay, well, let's describe Luca, like lizard,
So brown skin.
like lizard on a camera.
Brown skin. Is that India Arie song?
I don't know.
It is.
Lizard riding a bike.
Yeah, and now you could say high res, like comma, high res.
Tom's so mad
What do you mean?
because he's
And then
doing
say-
lizard on a bike, and you're like, no, let's do real
Comma.
lizard on a camera.
Well, yeah, then we can sell it.
Say comma like neon lights.
People want to see Luca ride a bike.
Okay.
Because the odds of us actually getting him to do. What if we did start making him do like little
And then
tricks?
hit enter. And so now
You
it's
know
going to
how the circus
auto-generate.
used to do bears on bikes?
I'm telling you that if
Oh, we can get him a
anybody
little
do it-
tech deck.
How did you mess up?
Luca on a tech deck. Let's do
Hold
it.
on, I'm back in here. I'm back in the new. You got to go in the newcomer rooms, right?
Yeah, well, for now, because eventually when you do them a lot,
Sweet
you
Tooth?
get your own chat room.
Yeah, it is a sweet tooth.
And so
So yeah, so you can see the prompts that they've used to create those images. Do you see that?
and then so now because it opens up a broader conversation of like we were laughing around about like, well, let's just use this for our show topics, or like, you know, when we have to have an image for like you know, a show, and the same thing you're doing
do
for
it.
Bangalore, and so this is seemingly will take the place of having someone, a graphic artist, do this work
Well,
for
it
you. Right?
can, but I feel like
You can tell. The issue is you're gonna look at it, and we know that's computer generated,
Right.
You know,
Because
so
it's all about the same
Yeah.
style.
I think the fun part is when you can take that original piece that they're producing and then go put it in Photoshop or put it in
Manipulate it yourself.
collage it into something else. Like we just did the cover of the next issue for our print magazine is I made a vintage. I used this. I shouldn't say I made it. I didn't make it. I art directed Midjourney to create an image
that's
for me.
kind of what you have to say.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Because you're an art director. You're putting in prompts. You're telling something else to create an image for you. That's what an art director does. You're not an artist with Midjourney because you're not making it.
Yeah.
You know.
It must be getting hammered. It's hung up.
So So I made an image, it's like a vintage orange juice ad of a lady drinking orange juice. And then I photoshopped out the orange juice, and then I made one. It's like somebody sinking underwater. And I photoshopped that into the glass. So it looks like she's drinking a glass of someone trapped inside her glass, you know? And that's going to be on the cover of the next magazine. And I love that because otherwise I'd be using someone else's IP. Like going out, or if
you'd
I
be
wanted to go
paying.
photograph it myself,
Yeah.
or I'm paying for it. But I
A graphic artist. Yeah. So that is fascinating to me. Where this, I mean, because think about it. What small business is going to choose hiring a graphic artist. And,
Yeah.
you know, I feel bad for graphic artists out there. And, like, we know our artist friends that make money on the side doing this. And, like,
Yeah.
and so but it is the reality of people are going to choose this and learn this over paying the price of a custom art.
Probably already
piece.
are.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are.
Writers, I mean.
What they're missing though is an artist will bring more to it. Like an artist can
Of
make
course.
that into something else that actually has value and meaning versus these, like, it's still putting like 6 fingers on people. Like people
Right.
still have 6 fingers.
Of course.
That'll eventually get fixed
Yeah,
the
yeah.
more people use it. You know what, Dan, if you go you get a gallery when you sign up. If you type in like midjourney.com, you might have to log into it separate. There's a spot where all of the art that you create goes into its own personal gallery. So if you lose it in this feed,
Well, here's one I did just
Okay,
as
great.
a test. I did a quick test I was able to do. I said a brown anole lizard on a bike listening to podcasts.
okay.
That's what I said.
Oh.
And do you see
So-
how it's like
It's kind of bringing it together. Do you see that? How it's like kind of, it's slowly putting it
Okay,
together.
right.
and you could put a qualifier in there that's like 9x16, or like you
Right.
could put the measurements in and
See,
it builds
Brendan
it out.
really knows what he's doing. I'm just now dabbling.
I don't,
with
but
this.
like see who underneath someone else for that interior shot that somebody made. See all of those qualifiers they put in?
yeah, see down
You
there,
can even put in like
they went crazy.
who's a famous photographer?
Ansel Adams.
Sure. So like you could put that in as a prompt, and then they're gonna make an image that is similar and
So look
aesthetic
at
to
that.
that
So, do you
photographer.
It has that style.
Do you see
Yeah.
this guy? Do
See-
you see this guy I made? So there's my image.
All right, look at that.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
Aw,
And you can
cute.
hit. So if you didn't like that, there's a cycle button. You-
Okay.
I want to
and
see him shooting a bazooka
That
with the
you-
American flag.
Hold on.
You can do that.
So wait, you want a lizard shooting a bazooka?
with American flag
You know,
behind it.
okay, we can do that.
Yeah. Or holding a bazooka.
Yeah,
But
and
I-
then say like epic scenery. You know, that's a good prompt. And it-
Actually, no, don't put bazooka, but RPG. because or machine gun.
the more
Yeah, Kelly.
specific you can be, the better.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Sure.
And some animals it doesn't know how to do.
it's just
like elephants for some reason.
Interesting.
this is
I
the
did it all
future
wrong.
of all creation and the moving forward.
Well, they're
Like,
teaching
it's-
it in schools. Kids are learning it in schools.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great tool. It's just a tool. It's another tool that you can use. Everybody should like.
Also, but if you're like you have kids and they show like interest in being an artist,
Yeah.
should you dissuade them from moving forward in that career?
No,
Why?
because they probably have talent, you know, and being able to do it yourself is always going to be
Yeah.
better than this.
Is it in 20 years?
I mean,
Like,
Oh yeah.
I think
like in
so,
20
yeah.
years, this will be better than any human
No,
could ever do.
no,
You still
being-
want to hand paint it. Like
Yeah,
then
being
you
able to
can-
know
yeah.
how to do it is always going to be better. Because it's like
People said radio was
it's like
dead,
the
you know?
first step.
Tom
It
still
is.
says that.
Hey, but it's changed to the point where it's less relevant. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, or like vinyl, or like cassettes. Like it's always going to be a thing. It's just it's not going to go away.
yeah. Well, it'll
Books.
be rare, or it'd be harder to make a business out of it. If you're like an artist,
know.
graphic design used to be something that was valuable in our community, in our society. It's like
Yeah.
be a graphic designer. Like businesses need this all the time. Do they anymore?
Movie producers are using this for storyboard production.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
all
you don't
those
have to-
artists that did like
Yeah.
imagine all like cartoons will become just AI doing them all, right?
Here's
not-
your
oh,
here's
there's-
what you wanted. I mean, you said a
Wow.
It's
lizard.
more of a guy. You
That's
need
Bowser.
A brown anole.
Well, I did put brown to know. I just
Yeah,
put lizard.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that is a lizard
Yeah.
shooting an RPG.
And if you like one of those more than the other, then you hit like it says you.
yeah, so you can
Yeah,
click.
you say you won, and then the V is like I want a different version of one of those specific 4.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know why
That's wild.
I find this so amazing.
It is
just,
amazing.
It's just
It's a cool tool. It is
like
that you-
having AI create art is something that I
Yeah.
thought we were way further away from. You know, like I was like, oh, it'll be a
I
while.
think everybody
before-
thought that. I
And then-
think even when you see this, you still don't
Yeah.
really believe it. You're like, I don't know what it is.
But it makes perfect sense. And the argument that it's basically stealing from other people, that's what humans do when they create art. You know, like they take inspiration
No
from a
idea
bunch
is
of things.
original. I actually kind of think, you know, and this will get a little meta. have you ever heard, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not stoned. I should be stoned to talk about this.
Okay.
That's fine.
Is
Yeah.
that
Hey, do
there's-
whatever, but you do you.
like the head in the clouds analogy? I do think creativity exists, and some people are closer to it than others, and I think we're all kind of pulling from the same place. Like when you see someone playing a guitar, did you watch that Beatles documentary where they're like making the music? They're just pulling shit out of something, you know, and they're all kind of tapped into it together, and they just kind of manipulate it themselves with their guitars, and they come up with something. But it's I think they're like channeling some sort of something. And I think artists, real artists, or just people in general, can do it themselves. It just depends how close you are to that cloud.
But what they're doing is essentially
That's
what
that's weird.
AI is
Yeah,
doing.
no, I see what you're
So,
saying.
like,
But AI does it, but it doesn't do it with heart. You know, like when you look at this, like there's not like
And also,
Hard.
it's depending on actual artists' art to generate. this.
yeah, but that's what I
They're
believe
using
human
other
brains
people's
are
stuff
doing.
as a palette.
Right.
Like,
Or it's like a dream. It's almost like a dream. Like the way
Yeah.
that like
That's a
you
good
interpret your
explanation.
day.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, maybe you have a dream and it's
Tom
taking
hates dreams. I don't know if you noticed about
You
him.
do?
Yeah, he
Well,
does.
I
he
don't
just
hate-
hates
I just- I
hearing.
don't have them.
It's like
You-
he hates hearing about people's dreams.
Yeah.
You don't remember having them.
I don't remember having them.
Ever?
Sometimes, not very rare.
Well, the ones he
I don't-
remembers,
I-
we'll never hear about them.
Well, I don't like hearing people's dreams because it's
I
rambling
had a wet
nonsense.
dream the other day.
Well, this is
Wet
rambling
dream?
nonsense.
Really? Yeah, I've had a wet dream recently
What?
too.
Yeah.
Did you mess the bed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah. Came all over
middle-aged
myself.
man having
Yeah.
a wet
Horny.
dream?
Yeah.
Who has that?
Got
I
up,
know.
came
What were you
my
dreaming
whole
about?
underwear.
No, you
I was
didn't.
dreaming about Brendan.
No.
I was
come
dreaming
on.
about you.
Oh my God!
Was it Thursday?
Was
Your
it for
peanut
what?
butter
Wait,
on
did you
my
guys hook up?
chocolate? Your chocolate's in my peanut butter.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I want Daniel to tell the story about what happened at
Oh,
his-
you want me to talk about being unreasonable
At
and having an
Quest.
anxiety attack
Yeah.
at a Quest diagnostic? Sure.
man.
Yeah. I've got 1,000 of them. This is just the newest one.
because I love laughing at
I
this.
know. I know. It's like Christmas in the center segment.
It's because it's so different than what I could even imagine.
It's not
ever
the
doing.
chat room says Dan's confrontation of the week. No, it wasn't a confrontation with myself in my own mind.
So let's take a quick break.
Alrighty.
I know Brendan's got to leave a little bit early today.
Yep.
We got a fringe guest coming in a little bit later to tell us
Beautiful.
about walking across Europe, or at least France
Wow.
and Spain.
Yeah.
I want to
and
stay for that.
So you can.
you
if
can.
like.
He'll be
if
here in
it's-
about 30 minutes.
If you
30
got
minutes?
the time, come on and stay. This is the name of the band is Lakes. The name of the song is Aces. We'll be back with more Mediocre Time momentarily. 1-844 TOMNDAN show at TOMANDDAN.com if you have a last minute email. We'll be right back.
You was right beneath the porch lights, forlorn into the midlife. We just because it feels right in the afterglow. Beneath the porch lights, forlorn into the midlife. We just because it feels right in the afterglow. Beneath the porch lights, forlorn into the midlife. We just because it feels right in the afterglow. Beneath the porch lights, forlorn into the midlife.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Squirt. Squirt who? Squirt is P. You dumb rednecks.
Right about now, you are listening to the incredible
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, who kindly remind you that squirt is P.
All my friends are good and drunk. All the problems facing us, they'll be there tomorrow. But for now we're having fun. Pour yourself another cup. Drink away my sorrows. I'm rambling to a girl who don't care. Daddy, feel it when I'm falling down the stairs. 'Cause all my friends are good and drunk. All the problems facing us, they'll be there tomorrow. But for now we're having fun. Pour yourself another cup. Drink away my sorrows. The bar is kicking us out. The party never ends, we go back to my house. 'Cause all my friends are good and drunk. All the problems facing us, they'll be there tomorrow. But for now we're having fun. Pour yourself another cup. Drink away my sorrows.
For a dumb blog post, I'm not paying anybody $50 to come up with a.
Wow! Hey, welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. That was Crooked Kings. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Brendan O'Connor sitting
Hi.
on the big red couch with us. What are we talking about? Oh, we're doing my story.
Well, first, let's talk about.
Shaving your balls.
Yeah, I did it this morning. You guys want to see?
No.
I shaved my balls with
You
my
did?
hands. Yeah, I did. It's got a light on it, which makes it nice.
Father's Day is coming up.
It is. And if you're a father like me, you are growing copious amounts of hair on the shaft of your penis.
On the shaft?
Yeah, on the shaft.
A great gift could be Manscaped beard trimmer. Maybe they've got nose hair, weed whacker.
The beard hedger is one of my favorite products. I like the ball toner because I think it smells really, really good.
How'd that work out, Brendan?
I like it.
It's
good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had any complaints either.
So
Hey,
yeah.
that's what it's all about.
you could use promo code Tom and Dan for
Yes.
20% off your purchase, free shipping worldwide.
Yeah.
That's manscaped.com.
Do you hold the...
Make sure you click the button if you don't want it to keep recurring.
Yeah,
'cause
do
we've
you-
had other people complain about
Do
that.
you
That's
hold-
on you,
Oh.
not us.
Do you hold the boys like this and pull them straight up? And give
go
them
under?
Yeah.
What do you mean by
You
the
gotta
boys?
stretch it. You gotta stretch it tight.
Your gonads.
Yeah, your gonads.
Can you Botox that situation?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
Botox.
people
No,
do. There's
no.
filler too. People do. Yeah, they.
Yeah. You can
Because
use
they don't like the
Bondo.
wrinkles.
To
You can
fill
put
it
all
out,
bo-
it'd be
To
way
make
too
it a,
big.
like a hard, like a tennis ball?
Yeah.
Now people do
like the-
saline injections too,
Yeah.
just
Too
to make them
big.
What
big.
does that mean?
Sometimes
just
people
fills your
go into
ball-
a
your
Puerto
sack
Rican
up.
neighborhood and they put JB Weld all over. it.
Promo code Tom and Dan. Also, I'll be at Ailstone tonight at 7. And also, if you another good Father's Day
There's a
gift.
Tom Van dress-up contest with prizes. Did
Yeah.
you know that?
Did you know
Were
that?
you
If-
aware of
I
that?
thought that was a joke.
No,
Oh,
if you
no.
dress up like Tom Van, you could walk away with. I believe
Okay,
it.
well, serious question: would you make out with your doppelganger?
I
I would not make out with me.
You wouldn't?
No, I would not.
I've always wanted to, though.
Now's your chance.
So now's your chance.
you
yeah.
and Mike B.
What if there's a really?
Mikey doesn't look anything like me. He's got
Can
a
I-
nose ring.
Can I
I mean,
lay
if
the
you take
challenge?
I'll take it out.
What
I
if?
mean-
What if there's somebody there who looks exactly like you? They really nail it.
I dressed
I think
up
you
like
should just
Tom
make
a few
out
years
with
You
ago.
did pretty good. Sam also
true
looked like
story.
she drove one of the buggies at Animal Kingdom. You know, she had on like khaki pants.
That's back when he still wore long boys.
When
Yeah.
there was some sort of app that it was a long time ago that will
Grindr.
make you into a woman, and they use it like.
yeah.
I am oddly attracted to that. I do look at it and I'll be like, oh, fuck
She's
that lady.
cute.
He's a prettier woman than me. I look like a 4-wheel driving
Yeah.
mama.
But you
They
think,
say an old hen makes good soup.
I love that. All right. I like that.
it's weird because you shouldn't be attracted to the woman
Yourself?
version of
Why?
yourself. Because
I look
it's
pretty
some-
hot as a guy too. I've done it on the Snapchat filters, and I'm like,
I want to.
but
Okay,
isn't
send
that
me that. I want to
incestuous?
see you as a guy.
all right.
Like, shouldn't
And
I'll
I've
do it
seen
later.
Brendan as a girl, or like sort of.
My face tune woman version is much better than my drag version because my drag version I look like Ursula with a beard versus
Well,
like
I
the
thought you-
AI thing. It's just you're soft. you
I
know?
thought your drag version, you kind of looked like a kind of like King Trident
Oh,
a little bit.
I love him.
You know, yeah. I mean,
He
I
could
thought-
get it.
Yeah, I thought it was like a good. Yeah, I think it was like a King Trident vibe.
I love King Trident. when I
also-
see that statue at Disney World, I'm always up on
He's a
that.
beefy
Yeah.
boy.
He
I
is
think
a
only
beefy
the gay
boy.
guys take pictures of
That guy,
King Trident.
King Trident, was on the T. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way you would have those muscles
for
at
Trident
like
and-
68 or 70 or
Oh,
what.
he's a god. I don't
He
know.
had an
He's-
8-pack.
He's got insane testosterone. When you're a
god.
deity,
You're right.
See
When
how
you're
many
a
kids he
god,
had?
yeah, he had crazy testosterone.
How many kids did he
I
have?
don't know. It was like 7, right?
Yeah.
7
Okay.
daughters.
Did he have to swim up a stream to spawn?
But
My
don't
God.
like seahorses. Don't when they come, it's just a cloud, right? It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're getting the whole ocean pregnant. You know, it's just like
Spelting? What do they call it?
spelting,
Yeah.
smelting.
So on when did you go get your blood test?
We're supposed to go on Monday.
Monday, okay.
After
so,
the show at 2:50.
So Monday we finished the BDM and OG show, and by the way, sign up to become a BDM if you want that. We're doing some new stuff. We're preparing for next year's
Yeah.
Appreciation Week. We're trying to get some BDMs who signed up to re-sign up again.
Yeah.
There's
You
been
may
like
not even know you're not a BDM.
we started going through our system, and there was like we got like 5,000 BDMs that were once BDMs and no longer BDMs anymore.
That is
They're
true.
like, why? There's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
lot.
why aren't they BDMs anymore?
Do they get an
lot of-
auto prompt when
No,
they
no,
run
there's
out?
nothing.
nothing's on auto. Everything's manual. Everything in
man.
this
Oh.
studio is by hand.
There you go.
Everything here is
There
by
you go.
hand.
You gotta
We're
fix
trying
that.
to get better.
Even our emails,
Can't
we
get
type them
better.
with one finger.
Do you use a what do you use? A CRM?
Well, I don't even know what that
Yeah, I
is.
don't know what that is.
Every
I want to
day.
see your.
Do you just have an Excel sheet? Like how are you
An
how are
Excel
you
sheet.
keeping
I don't
track
know.
of your,
I don't know how to do Excel.
How do you keep a track of your memberships? What's the program?
I write them down.
Yeah.
You
do
write
by
it
hand.
down?
We
That
write
I
them by hand.
have- that I have a big.
You write it down on a
binder.
list?
We go to the number, and then we open the tome
Right,
of
right.
knowledge, and we look at the number.
I'll
and it
tell you
goes,
what. Okay, so
write it on the board, and
No.
we write it on the board.
no, we're using Pico, which is awful, but there's
Pico?
Yeah.
The
But that's-
Gaio.
At least you get automated alerts and stuff, you know.
Yeah, nothing's automated. It's all manual filing cabinets. Just endless
my
filing
God.
cabinets.
Dewey Decimal System to find
don't-
it. Yeah.
We're finished the show on Monday, and then Daniel's like, I gotta go get a blood test, and then you left.
But I can't. I left disheveled because I was nervous.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
What was the blood test for?
My anxiety's been. I'm just in so much pain with this goddamn back, man. Like it's for my back. You know, they need to do fresh blood work and they need to do fresh MRIs
To make sure that the meds aren't doing anything to your...
I don't know. They want to look at my levels. They want to test me for rheumatoid arthritis. You know, there's
Wow.
a lot of things that they're doing. But
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, my anxiety is a little high about it. I guess
You can bring a
but-
friend.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
have to go
I
on your
don't
own.
like going to the doctor is fine. I don't get weirded
Just-
out going
just,
to the doctor.
You know, the anxiety is pegged to the limit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I call it. You know, when you start racing and what's a racing game?
Hey, you get
Mario
on
Kart.
Forza.
any of them. Yeah, you jump
Cruising
on-
the world.
Yeah, you jump on Forza and you rev up the engine.
and
you just let it sit there.
That's where Daniel's anxiety gets sometimes. I can see it. I feel it. Like all of a sudden, I walk in. It's like I'm like, oh man, he's pegged to the limit.
Okay.
And so that's how he was on Monday.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I'm not nervous about it. I'm excited, right? Because like, just to walk you through the process, the first doctor I went to was like more of a pain management style deal, and
Pills.
yeah, and that's what they wanted to give me. But like, look, that's all fine and well. I need to fix this.
Yeah.
I'm not able to
Physiotherapist.
be as there was a point about a year ago where I was exercising at least 5 times a week,
And the pain was
0 because I was like just extremely active.
And let me mention this with anxiety. Like people often, like when someone says my anxiety is up, they want to know why, right? Like there's a reason. But in my experience with Daniel, there is no particular reason. It ebbs and flows like chemicals in your brain. It's like all of a sudden your brain is releasing way more stress chemical.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily caused by a specific thing.
and it snowballs.
And then it's just happening. You're in an anxiety, situation for no reason.
Yeah.
So some people you don't have to ask them if they're going through anxiety. Don't ask them why, because there is no reason for
There
it.
could
It's
be,
just-
Yeah,
but-
it's like, oh, I'm having a panic attack. Why are you having a panic attack? It's like there doesn't
just
have to
came
be.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I'm
doesn't
the
have
worst,
to be.
yeah.
a reason.
I mean, if
just-
they knew,
just
they
try to-
probably wouldn't be panicking.
Right.
Yeah, just
They
trying to help them
probably
out
don't,
or
yeah.
understand.
I used to tell people, well, just don't.
Right.
Yeah. It would make me
Very
laugh and it would
helpful.
help. But
Yeah.
so I leave
Just
here,
stop.
but then I'm like sort of disheveled. I was running a little later than I thought. I had a 2:50 appointment at Quest, and and I like making the appointments because normally you can get in there and get right out. So I get in my car. I'm going down the road to go to the place. It's just right down here, and I'm like less than a mile from the studio. So I'm going down the road. Then Sam text me actually, or called me rather.
Uh-oh.
To say that I'd forgotten to put the files that Samantha needed to edit. So I'm
That
like,
I knew was going to throw you.
Oh, yeah,
idiot.
and
You're
the
the biggest
cameras.
Yeah.
I
fucking
forgot about
idiot.
And I'm like, the cameras are on,
Yeah.
and they're seeing me jack off.
No, you know what's funny is that you didn't even tell me that.
No,
You
no.
said-
'Cause
We
I
let
wanted-
it ride. Me and Tom knew. We just let it
Yeah, I
ride. Because
wanted-
we're like, the mics aren't on. It's fine.
Yeah, they
I'm
let
gonna
it ride.
shield you.
No, the mics weren't on, but then Tracy, who's always got my back, I tell you right now, she is.
Oh, Tracy Narked?
She's a rough rider. I mean, she's got the jacket and
Well,
the
she
motorcycle
hasn't
blanket.
realized that,
Yeah.
don't cause Daniel more anxiety by telling him what's happening.
So she texts me that the cameras are still on. Well, I've also got to dump the audio that I need to get to Sam
Yeah.
in the Dropbox so she can do that. Plus, Tom put all the banners for Fringe in the back of my car. I got to drop those off for Emma.
Oh, I forgot about that. We
And
gave you extra shit.
and the main thing I'm trying to do is to get home to see Maisie because she's got dance that day in a very small window of
You gotta
time.
put your mask on first, man.
It's a very small window of time that I get to see
Yep.
her, before she goes to dance. So I was trying to do, the idea was go to Blood, get that done. I have the banners, zip back to Orlando Shakes, drop off banners, zip back here, edit the grab the OG show that Sam already edited, upload that, and then edit the BDM show and put that out. Then go home and see Maisie. That was the plan. So I leave here. I'm going to get my blood test. Tom
world
calls me
had
and
other
says,
plans.
Hey, you already fucked up. You didn't put the thing in there. So
I did say, I was like, hey, I always, because I know.
I said it.
Yeah.
Because I think that way, but my self-talk is terrible. I was like, you're a fucking idiot. You're the worst. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I hang up. I double-click my car to make it drive itself. And then I immediately get on my phone to remote in. So I'm doing what everybody was afraid I was going to do, but I'm doing it. I am letting my car drive while I'm remoting in to the studio.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm here to tell you, was it dangerous? Yes.
No.
Did it work? Yes. It absolutely worked.
AI.
I was able to remote in. I was able to grab the files and give them to Sam. And then I was even able to turn off the cameras.
What?
I was like, boop. And then
People were mad,
people were mad as fuck, cussing me out. They didn't know it was in there. I was like, I'm here. They're like, he
Now we know
remoted
that
in, motherfucker. And I'm
Tracy
like,
was
I'm
dark.
This
I'm
all
here.
makes more sense now that I'm putting all these things, because I forgot I loaded that stuff in for Fringe and like, hey, drop this off and I give you
Dude,
loose details. I'm like, second floor somewhere.
I mean, I hate to do.
Oh, it's tough to find.
I
It
hate
is
to
tough
do
find.
spoiler here, but the spoiler in this story is my brain. I lose in this story, so I'm just going to tell it.
But it all worked out.
Well, we'll find out. So I'm driving
it
down
doesn't
there.
work.
it never works.
I
out
know
the
the
end.
inevitable ending.
Yeah,
It
put that
never
in the
works out.
mid-journey. It's a bad ending. So so the car's driving me down there. I did get a little victory from that. So I park at the place. It's this one place that I'm going to any Quest or any LabCorp. I'm a little more LabCorp. I like LabCorp a little bit better, but like they all work hand in hand with each other. So this lady, my new doctor, my third doctor,
They're
which is-
all black nurses at Quest,
Oh, I think yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I don't see color, Brendan.
Well, that's a problem.
I was
I see it and I celebrate it.
But I was told that I need to go to Quest, right? That's because they communicate
Sometimes they will
directly.
They will tell you which one to go to. Yeah.
I made an appointment. I've got my appointment. I'm on my way. I park. I go in there. I sit down. Now, I do like the way they've got it set up. You go up to the screen, and I realize that this is very difficult for elderly people.
Oh, yeah, they hate it.
But not for me. I walk up there.
I love it.
I have my
you can
ID.
check in on your phone when you get there, just like True Leave.
It's awesome. I have my ID.
I'm here.
It's like, put it in the tray. I put it in the tray. It snaps a photo.
I do like the joke of the people who need this service the most, let's make it the most difficult.
Take away the human, computer only. But everyone's elderly, sir. It doesn't matter. Do it anyway. It'll be fun. You'll get to watch it. You can watch it on security camera. So I put my ID
last
in there.
time there was an old man just sitting there.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. So I scan, insurance card. I sit down. One of the things I like most about Quest and LabCorp is that when you check in, you can turn to your left or right and see a jumbo TV that will show you how many people are on standby and where you are in queue. I look at the top. It says, D. Dennis. Boom. I'm already there. It says, for appointment only. There's only me. For standby, it's the other 4 people that are waiting in there. No problem at all. I'm like, I got this licked. And I'm looking at my watch. We're right on time. I mean, it's 2:50 on the nut. I'm like, all right.
That's fine. You made it.
Yeah, we're here, but we better start going. So I'm sitting there for a minute, and all the while I'm checking in, the phlebotomists are opening the door and saying, you know, the people's
Next
name.
patient.
Or they'll say the name. Lady opens the door. And there's this guy that looks like Waluigi from Super Mario Bros. Very tall, lanky, near-death Italian man sitting next to me. And every time the phlebotomist will open the door,
Haunted look in his eyes.
she'll open the door and say a name like Jenkins, and then he'll stand up, and then he'll sit back down. Thompson, he'll stand up. He'll sit back down. It's not you yet, motherfucker.
Right.
You're on standby. She say the name. He'll stand up. He'll sit back down. It's not him. Other people are coming in, you know, with appointments. I'm not the only appointment.
Oh, yeah,
there
you
now.
got pushed back.
So at some point she says, what I appear to hear, Dennis, I stand up. Waluigi fucking stands up. I look at Waluigi. He looks at me.
Oh,
She
shit.
looks at me.
Mario and Waluigi look at each other.
I know. It's never happened. It's never happened before. She looks at me. It's the funniest thing you've ever said. She looks at me.
Because you're wearing red, too. So
I know. And a hat.
Yeah.
Snorted.
I turn to the lady. The lady looks at me, and then she kind of gives me the wave
Oh, shit. Sit
to
down.
sit down. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, Dennis, very common name. This has happened multiple times. I've been to enough
He
doctor's
took your
appointments.
spot.
I've had enough doctor's appointments to have a Dennis called or Daniel called, and I stand up at the same time.
Sure.
2 other guys stand up. Happens all the fucking
She
time.
should have said the name again.
So Waluigi walks in, they start talking, I sit down, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like looking at the time. Well, now we're 5 minutes past. We're cranking into my time here, and I got to get these fucking banners over to Orlando Shakes. So I'm sitting there. I turn to my left, and I'm
Fucking
looking
Mario
at
Kart
all
out
the
here.
technology around me, right? I look.
And you're off the TV.
I'm off the TV. Brendan knows. I look, and it says appointments. Well, Dennis, that's gone now. And then the standby, it's only listed as fucking standby. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this motherfucker.
And you definitely checked in, right?
Yeah, this motherfucker took my spot
So
because
you-
he kept doing
so
the
you
jump up.
calmly-
He kept doing the jump
you
up. He was like, I'm
calmly-
gonna get in there no matter what. I'm on standby. I'm just gonna
Uh-huh.
keep getting up and annoy this lady to the point where I can go back there. Well, this guy must have been getting the entire battery of tests because he's
All I
back
heard is you
there.
helped an old man get in there, and otherwise he'd still be there today.
Well, Brendan, 15
lives there
he
now.
was there a
like
long
the
time.
lizard. This lizard's been waiting this whole time.
So it goes on for like 15 minutes, right? It goes on, and my anxiety is bubbling. My pain is, but my anger. I'm
And
sorry.
there's nobody at a desk,
Even
right?
re-
'Cause
no,
that's
there's
the new thing.
There's
Even
no
in
recourse.
hospitals,
You
there's
can't even
nobody
call
at
to
a desk.
complain.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
even call to complain. There's no, you can't write an email to complain. It's like, there's no complaints here. We don't allow it.
You can talk into the kiosk.
You can wait for them to open the door again and be like,
Write
hey,
a
I
complaint
think-
on the waiting list.
So I'm sitting there, and then I can just feel putting on myself. I'm like, this motherfucker, he took my spot. He took my spot. I think he took my spot. I think he took my spot.
Spiraling.
And I'm like, well, now I'm going to be late.
Spiraling.
Well, now I'm going to be late. Now, I realize that to the average human being that's normal, that this isn't a big deal. I get it. I know there are plenty of people listening to this right now that don't suffer from anxiety and depression like I do, that when something like this happens, especially when you're in a ton of pain and on your third doctor and you've got other things to do and you only want to see your daughter and get your errands done for the day and get your BDM and
it's
OG
happening
shows.
again.
Right, it is, and I'm starting to sweat right now.
Again.
So I was sitting there, and then so it takes forever. He must have been doing urine, blood. I can hear them standing at the door doing chirping.
And your insurance
and I'm
paid
like,
for all of it.
motherfucker, you're chirping. They open the door, and it's the same lady and the guy. And I look at the lady, and I'm sitting in my chair, and she goes, Dennis? And I go, was that Dennis? She goes, no. And I go, well, why did you continue with it? And she's like, ah. And the old man goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I said, you should be
No,
sorry.
you didn't.
Yes, I swear on my
No,
life.
you
I told you I
didn't
was
yell
the
at
villain.
that old man.
I did yell at him, and I told you I was the villain of this story.
And then he
I
died
said,
in the parking lot.
I hope he did.
Of a broken heart.
I hope he did. I'd have backed
God.
over his fucking legs
Oh
when
my
he died
God.
in the park.
What happened?
And
You're
he-
just-
I'm sorry. And I go, you should be
No.
sorry. You took my fucking appointment. You make such a goddamn big deal about having an appointment, and it doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You just take whoever the fuck you want. So the lady ushers for me to come back. She's like, come back. And I'm like, I start walking back there. I've got my stupid paperwork in my hand. I handed the paperwork to her, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just getting more and more mad. And I go, why did you continue with his battery of tests when you knew it was the wrong person? And she won't say a fucking word. So I snatch my paper out of her hands, and I say, at the top of my lungs, I can't do this right now.
And then you just walked out. And
I couldn't.
And he left?
Because all the doors were locked. So I tried to walk out, and as I was walking out, I pushed open the fire escape.
And the alarm went off?
And the fucking alarm went off.
Oh, damn.
Okay, let's take a moment and reflect.
And I said I'm sorry, and then I ran to my car.
Did you say like in Italian?
No, I did.
Did you cry in the car?
I just had to get the fuck out of there. I was so mad.
Did you cry in the car?
I would have.
And Andrea's in the chat. She says, and I had to hear all about this all night.
Poor Andrea.
I told you about Ava Mediterranean, right? What happened to me there with the hat thing?
No.
I had
Oh, yeah. They told you couldn't wear the hat or something.
Yeah, and I had a meltdown. And I didn't know how to handle
yeah.
it.
You just left.
Yeah.
And I had like an
Yeah.
anxiety, which I don't generally, I'm pretty chill.
I thought I was going to scream and start yelling at
Yeah,
everybody.
same.
I was so mad
Yeah.
that, okay, the whole week you've made such a big deal, Quest, about like, have an appointment. You got to have an appointment. Walk-ins will not have guaranteed service. Have an appointment. And then you don't even fucking honor my appointment. And then you have the audacity to take the old man back and then just do all of his tests like my appointment didn't fucking matter.
But what if?
Why did I even do
But
it?
one day that's all going to be handled by
Fuck
AI.
that old man. No,
Well,
what?
it's not the old man's fault. It's the lady's fault.
That old man, it's partly his fault
Hey,
too.
hey.
He don't know. He's just like, hey,
No, he was
take me
so
when you take me.
antsy
No,
about.
stop.
I watched him. I
Dan,
see what you're saying.
In that moment,
and it's
you
valid.
could have
It's
said
valid.
something. You could have said.
You're right.
You could have calmly said.
No, I can't do anything calmly.
Dan Dennis. Dan Dennis.
You're
You
right.
know? Like that
You're
was
right.
the moment.
But that's not my job. You're right. It's her job to
no,
check
it's
it.
your
No,
job.
it's her job to check
advocate for yourself,
it-
and
you're
you
right,
didn't,
but
and
it's-
you got mad and embarrassed.
No,
and
I-
you hit that old man in the face.
You're
Oh my
I would have.
God.
I would have. You're partly right. But that lady, like, as soon as she knew that
don't blame it.
as soon as she
Shit
knew that was
happens.
wrong. No, see, that's what Andrew's like. Andrew's like, shit happens. I'm like, not on my watch. No shit happening.
Well, it still happened. You just you reacted badly to
And
it.
technically, you didn't get your blood test, so
No, I didn't.
No.
I had to
The
go
only-
again.
Yeah.
you
So you're just
screwed
walking out of the
yourself.
building and the fire alarm's
Have you
going
gone
off?
again?
I did go. I went to a different location. I never go back.
Are
to
they
that
going to
location.
bill you for the fire alarm?
I don't know. I haven't found out. I figured they just kind of chalked it up to they made a mistake. I made a mistake. Good
Sure.
day.
I do like.
You can't go back to that location.
No, never in a
No.
million years. It's right by the Mellow Mushroom.
I'm never going back to Ava.
I like that location,
Yeah.
but it's burned. It's burned off my list. It's
my-
forever
I
dead.
wonder what the turnover rate is at a Quest.
Look at you.
Don't read the
Tom.
reviews. He loves it so much. No, but what makes me mad is, let me just say what I think she should have done. If it's me, if I'm the phlebotomist and I go back there, I'm like, oh my God, I picked the old man instead of the
Oops.
guy who got the appointment. No, oops. I'm going to go, I'm sorry. sorry, sir. You didn't have an appointment. I have to walk you back out and get the guy that had the appointment.
Sure.
That's it. That's the only thing I wanted to say.
But
I know
also
that that's
as a
unreasonable
human
to
to be
everybody
like,
else there.
But this old man's been here forever.
Don't give
I
a
can't
fuck.
look at him anymore.
Don't
I'll just
give a
get him
fuck.
done and then bring in that guy.
No, let him die. That's what she thought. I guarantee you she thought, he's back here. I'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And that's what's wrong, though. That's what's wrong is that people don't. You want me to adhere to the rules. You want me to have to get an appointment.
Old Italian man probably can't even read English.
That's what I'm saying.
Then
You
let
might
him
not-
die. Then let him die.
And he's just
plenty.
sitting there,
I
just
got
waiting.
plenty of years. You got to look at me, look at him, and go like, well,
justice
this guy's.
for Waluigi.
She could have even asked him,
No,
like,
fuck
did you
that
sign
guy.
in? Do you need help signing in? Like, there's a customer service thing at Quest that does
Obviously,
not
he needed
exist.
Oh
help.
yeah, it doesn't exist.
All he was
Does not
doing, he
exist.
was just going to stand up, and be antsy until he got back there.
Maybe he
It
was hard
worked.
of hearing and he couldn't hear what the hell she was saying.
Yeah,
It
there's a
worked.
lot of what ifs.
It
you
worked.
know.
I also.
I'm glad you're okay.
My second favorite thing is when Daniel
Oh, it makes me so fucking mad.
You're so
holds
mad.
a grudge.
I'm
against
sweating
a
right
person
now. Like I can never. Yeah, I hate that person forever.
Five Guys.
for his entire life. Well, yeah, that I was gonna.
The
I
Five
will
Guys
hold the
thing.
same level
He'll
of
never
grudge.
go,
Yeah.
even if it inconveniences
I-
him.
I-
That's what's funny about it.
Oh, I did inconvenience myself. I hold the same level of anger, ire, and I can never go back to that quest as I do people that have wronged
Yep.
me in life horribly.
Because you have a raw heart. You have a big raw heart,
Oh, I
just
like
like
that.
Scotty Campbell.
I like
you guys
that.
just live with no protection. You just got big hearts.
Yeah,
you just
raw
hold
dog
on
hearts.
to shit.
Raw dog hearts,
Yeah.
man. No protection.
No, if you ask Scotty about something that
stick
pissed
my
him
heart
off
in everything.
20 years ago, it still pisses him off the same level today.
what-
Oh my God! I
damn.
found
It doesn't-
Scotty and I do that. Scotty
yeah.
and I at a hockey game will gravitate into being grudge friends, and then we'll get real mad
Oh,
with each other.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're
Grudge
drinking,
buddies.
You gotta let it go.
I fucking
just
love
let it go.
Scotty.
You got to, otherwise
No.
you don't live as long.
Oh, wow, it's Scotty.
Look at how bad his leg is tapping right now.
I'm sweating like a hog right now.
Turn the air down.
I know. Jesus.
Daniel.
I got so mad. I can't believe
It's
I
a
did
little
that.
warm, though,
I
too.
can't
It
believe
is,
I
yeah.
did that. I honestly can't.
the lizard.
Like, I thought I was going out the regular way. I thought I was doing everything right. I don't even really remember the
No, I
alarm
think your
going
wife
off.
is
What'd your
calling.
therapist say?
Oh,
Lying
shit.
too. She's calling.
What did your therapist say?
Help! Did you do this? Because you love it when Andrea calls in to pepper in the
Oh, did you get him?
Oh my
Hi.
God. This motherfucker.
Get him.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Mama.
Oh my God. So, hi. So, of course, this appointment is right during like my leadership meeting that I have to run. And this guy
Fucking
is
leadership
lighting up my text messages, melting down, like just
Oh no.
stream of consciousness
I'll
text.
turn my phone off.
about
They didn't make any sense. I went back and read them later when I was.
What are you texting Andrea about?
Well, no,
She can't do anything.
I black
Trying to
out.
fucking
You
work.
were texting him back, were you?
I
You-
black
Andrew, you were
out
just-
with anger. Brendan, I blacked out with anger. I don't even remember the fire alarm going off. Like, I don't really remember.
Wow.
I heard it initially, and then I blacked it out, got into my car, double tapped the stick, and let it drive me home. I was too angry to drive.
And then he just talks to his car to text me, and it is just, a
It lo-
diatribe in
it's-
my text message coming through while I'm trying to run this meeting.
It's crazy.
And then the kicker is he can't just leave it at that that moment. Like when we get home that night, like I drop Maisie off at dance, and he comes home and he is just wanting to just spin and in circles and keep talking about it. Then we get to the bed.
Oh my God.
I'm finally laying down for the day.
She
It's
asked
10
me if-
o'clock at night, and
she-
he's
no,
like,
she
he
asked
goes,
me-
Can I?
Let her talk, Dan.
No, she asked me if she was like, hey, it's because she wanted to do a little, the thing. I was too mad.
What's the thing?
You
Like
know.
help you decompress?
Like
Or sexy stuff?
Yeah, sexy stuff.
She wanted to do that after this, a whole thing.
Oh, that would have been such a turn off.
Andrea, is that true?
I make one
Yeah,
mistake months
'cause I know
ago.
it. Like, calms him down, and he goes, and he did not want to do it. He said that he goes, "Can I rehash like from the beginning with you, like to talk about if
'Cause you were
where
embarrassed,
what
yeah.
happened?" And I was like, "Oh my
I was.
God,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk." And then I start slapping the bed. I'm like, "I don't want to talk about
She
this
did.
right now."
She punched the bed and said, "I don't want to talk about it. God damn it!" Like that. Yeah, and that was
Driving her crazy.
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
Andrea, her cup was already full during the
Yeah.
day, and you were trying to add more shit to it. She couldn't do it.
Look, I know.
He's pissing in it.
Don't piss in a
Tell
cup.
you,
He's pissing in your
I
cup,
need to
Andrea.
tell- Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then my kid. Can I tell you about my kid being exactly the same way?
Oh, 2 for 1.
Look how happy Tom is.
I torture Crystal with this as well, and I get great pleasure out of my boys not paying
Hey,
attention
can I
to
tell you
anything.
something? This is your gift for Tom Van Club Day.
yeah.
I'm giving
Oh.
this
Yeah,
to you.
okay.
This is
Go
your
ahead.
gift.
So this happened Monday. So Tuesday, I get an email from the teacher saying, hey, something happened at lunch. I can't say kids' names because I'm not allowed to put it in an email. But Maisie's lunch bowl got tipped over and went on the floor. We offered her to go through the line to get food. She said no, she was okay. We offered her. I guess if people don't want food, they have a cooler in the cafeteria, and you can get. And she said no. So when we got home, I was expecting her to come in hot.
Maisie's like,
so
fuck these lunch buddies. I hope they die.
Yeah.
Tom,
you're not
wait.
wrong.
You're not far off. So she comes home and she's like, yeah, they were horsing around and they hit my lunch bowl and everything
horsing
fell
around,
on the
she
floor. And I said, but you have food left in here. Why didn't you just eat that regular food? I was too mad.
I starved.
No, she said that. They
I
said
said they're mad and starved.
I said so.
Oh my
I said
God.
so. What did you do? And she's like, I crossed my arms and I sat there and I stayed silent the rest of the day.
Yeah, to teach him a lesson.
I said, fuck this old man.
That's what Scotty does. That's what Scotty does.
You got to get her help now, Andrea, before it
Yeah,
gets
that's
too
all-
late.
there's no help.
Wait a minute.
It's impossible.
What does your therapist
Hey,
say?
look at our business. We get a business out of it.
What does your therapist say? Dan, when you tell him this stuff? Him, her.
I don't tell her this stuff.
No?
No. I like my.
Yeah, I told him don't say
No,
this
we're
serious
no,
stuff.
I'll say. No,
Don't watch you
call
up the
the cops.
5150 you.
I'll say the serious stuff I
need
told
you
her
to
to
get to
Tom.
work.
I'm not going to get into particulars, but yeah, I am trying to work on letting things go. I am not good, and I think, even with one particular gigantic life event that I seem to talk about at least monthly, I gotta get better at that. So yeah, I am working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
a process. But that,
Because that's something that Maisie's going to need that tool too. You know?
I don't give a fuck about Maisie. I don't give a fuck about me here.
Andrea,
I'm
I
a
don't want her to go through life holding grudges all the
goddamn
time.
superstar.
It's
You are a
internal.
She
It's
was fine with her friends. By that night, they're like,
You're a
texting on
superstar.
Messenger. They were fine. So, but she just held a grudge
Yeah,
the
she
rest
did.
of the school
Also,
day
she-
and
that
punished
shit.
herself.
That is inside her DNA
Yeah.
that Daniel gave her.
Can't
I
get
think-
rid of it.
I-
No, it's in there. It's poison, and you can't get rid of it.
It's
She's-
hard when you feel that deeply.
She just has to learn how to manage it, right? Like, yeah,
Right, yeah.
I'm an emotional
Yeah.
person, and like I live, like when I feel things, I feel them.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
and that's great.
And I'm an empath too, and it sucks. When other people have something terrible that happens to them, I feel that shit,
Yeah.
and I hate that.
I'll give you
it's not fun.
another example how your kids are like you. The other day, Tommy and Max got their what do they call it? Yearbooks, right? And so they get
God,
their
you are
yearbooks.
emotionless.
And then
What
so
are the
What is that thing
memory,
with memories
the
from the
memories
year?
of the fun things.
Memory magazine.
Memory magazine.
That should be the name of the
It should be.
show.
Oh, you want to write it?
Yeah.
and not
Type that into the auto prompt.
Yeah, memory.
Okay, would I be a dick? Okay.
Well,
Okay,
you know the answer to that. I mean,
So they get their yearbooks. Remind me to bitch about the yearbooks for a second, but they get their year. Max is looking at his. I'm like, oh, Tommy, did you get one? He's like, yeah, it's in my backpack. So I go open his backpack, and then I go to reach for it, and it's all wet. And then I pull it out, and it's waterlogged to halfway, right, with his homework binder and his whole shit. Like, look, it's the end of the year or whatever, but everything's wet. And the bottom of his backpack is his water bottle that came unscrewed, and it was just his backpack was, I'm not even joking, 3 inches of water.
it was just spilling out.
No, just sitting at the bottom. And then I was just like, Tommy, all this is ruined your goddamn yearbook. And then he's like, what? And I'm like, you didn't notice there's 3 inches of water on the bottom of your backpack? Like, how long has this been here? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, you didn't see this or
so
notice
you
it?
were playing the role of Samantha at this time.
Yeah.
Like, explain,
And I'm
or
like,
me
how did you
explaining
not
something.
notice?
Yeah.
And he's like, I did not notice it. It's so frustrating. And then I'm like, oh my God, he's got the goddamn
You know,
bite.
the same guy that stomps shit in here
Yeah,
once
yeah.
every couple months and it smells like shit, and you're like, hey, did you step in shit? I didn't notice.
Yeah, he's
Yo,
but
what
no,
is
but he'll
that?
do this now on the
It's the
shit.
same
He'll
weird
go.
shit.
He'll
The way
go.
you're
I don't
looking
know.
right
He's like, I don't think I did, but it does smell like shit in here.
Right.
By the
What
way,
is happening?
I thought I used to be able to put things out in the sun, like books and whatever, to dry them out. Like I put it
No.
out in the sun, it did not dry.
Yeah, millennial shits are a little greasier.
What?
They don't dry in the sun anymore.
Like I thought by putting it out in the sun for a couple days that it would dry
the
out.
books?
The book.
No, no,
Your house is drier than outside.
Yeah. That's what Crystal
So
told me.
smart.
You didn't learn that from Alone?
So smart.
I guess it's the humidity that.
Has anybody ever thought of the irony that he loves the show Alone but can never be alone?
Oh.
I could be alone. I just don't like it.
That's like somebody said, like,
I can stop drinking. I just don't want
I
to.
just don't want to.
I don't like the challenges.
You love challenges.
That was maybe the sweetest thing I've ever heard you say.
So,
I could be alone. I just don't like it.
Bye.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Baby,
Yeah.
I love you. I'm sorry.
oh man.
Oh.
you
Look
hung
at him
up
trying
on
to
her.
silence her.
Oh.
Now you're in even more trouble.
No,
That
look-
is insane that
Yeah.
you drove her crazy and she still offered sex.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
It's
is,
that good, Sam.
There's no.
Well, maybe she needed it because it sounded like she had a shitty day too.
Yeah, well, it's a hard.
Or maybe
yeah.
she's like, maybe if I do this, he'll shut the fuck up.
I think it was that. I think you nailed it. Yeah, you're a woman. I think you nailed it. I think it's like if I give him
He'll
some
go to
pussy,
sleep if I do
if I
this.
give him my titties, he will shut the fuck up.
See,
Can't talk with titties in your mouth.
that's the
And guess
anomaly.
what? Sam and my wife are not wrong.
Yeah.
If a man is
Yeah,
arguing,
but that's a
no, if you
a
were
behavior
arguing
no
and
one
spinning
can.
out of control, if your wife came and gave her titties to you, you'd be like, man, it's
In a
what,
box?
this-
But that would
Alright.
never happen. That is behavior that if I'm mad about something, she's mad. She's gonna be mad for weeks. Never give me sex. You're not gonna offer me sex to make me feel better.
That was to make us both feel better. It's like to break the whole. I think it was to break the whole thing.
There's no memes about that. It's not like I was yelling at my wife all day and I got home and she blew me, and then that meme spurs around. The memes are my wife's a bitch.
That's the memes on your algorithm.
Well, that's the meme. That's the popular meme. Al
On
Bundy.
your algorithm.
I'm just-
Straight people.
Look.
Straight
I know,
people.
Brendan is like looking at us, and everything we're saying is foreign to him.
What is that?
Hold on. Is there
Like
any?
straight people like crazy.
Is there any memes on Daniel's
Scotty-
TikTok that is like, my wife gave me a blowjob
No.
because I was a bitch or mean to her
there's
all day?
tons of stories and possibly in the side chicks group of guys flipping out or acting like babies. Just fucking give them a blowjob, let them go to bed.
Wow.
That's
It's
good
a thing.
algorithm.
It's a thing.
That is an anomaly
Call
like
me.
a lizard. I don't think that's a popular thing, right? It can't
I
be.
don't see it.
Yeah.
It's not on my
It
algorithm.
happens to you. What are you talking about?
No, but it's not on my algorithm, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
like I'm not
That's
flipping
gotta
through
be
seeing
the
a lot of
anomaly.
them. So I can't disagree with what he's saying. It's not like all of my friends are coming up to me and telling me that their wives are trying to calm them down with blowjobs. Nobody's saying that. I am the only person that has ever said that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think it's got to be rare.
It's a good partnership. Good partnership there.
I mean, I don't know. I think she's like at her
match.
wits end. She's trying to
Well,
do whatever she can.
If it's
Yeah, I like
good
both.
on one side of it.
It's worked before. It's clearly she's done it before. It's
Didn't
in
you
her
hear the part in
Rolodex.
there earlier about there being 1 inch? That's not that hard, man.
All right.
Taking a break?
Actually,
we can just bring Marcus in.
Yeah. Well,
bring him.
no, let's take a break and then bring him in for
Okay.
the last segment.
All right.
Let's do that.
So-
We'll do a long last segment
Okay,
then.
perfect.
All right, brand new music from the Rocket Summer. The name of the song is Sing at the Top. This is super creative and fun. You'll dig it. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN show at tomanddan.com.
sets. Our inner voices saying that we can only look ahead. Sing the top, ready or not. Sing the top of your night. Sing the top, ready or not. Sing the top of my night. Sing the top, ready or not. Sing the top of your night. Sing the top, ready or not. Sing the top of my life. Sing at the top, ready or not. Sing at the top of your lungs. Sing at the top, ready or not. Sing at the top of my lungs.
You're listening to the industry leader, radio guys turned podcasters. And now the whole town is sucking art dicks.
Oh yeah.
You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Oh yeah, don't forget to lick our balls, bitch.
The last pigeon in America stands next to me in the Wall Street Cantina. And Bob's at an art show that fell on the floor with the grace of a gray-winged ballerina. And all of the faces that form the lunch crowd are moving their lips, and I'm sure that it's loud. And I wonder if anyone has even a hunch just what this pigeon has paid for this lunch. The manager of the cantina does payroll in a closet stocked with Corona. And the hours are long and her boyfriend's an ass, and she's thinking about moving back to Arizona. And the unhappy patrons and 12-hour days are costing her more than this goddamn job pays. And a Vicodin drowns in her unsweetened tea, bringing her post-lunch tranquility. The pigeons have all left the country, or at least they've stopped hanging around the cantina. Some think it's the weather, some say it's the food, some claim it's the lure of a distant marina. And as the last pigeon steps out to take flight, the manager's day is absorbed by the night, and the voices of customers bounce off the walls. Confessions and punchlines and quick cell phone calls.
a Beatles kind of a vibe. That is the Milk Carton Superstars.
Oh.
Or as I like to
I like
call them, Jim's band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim from OCLS.
The name of that song is The Last Pigeon in America. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am going to have to fix our cameras, so if you have something to talk about here, that would be perfect.
I want to promote the Villain Clothing promo code. Speaking of another good Father's Day gift. In fact, I think today they have...
Especially for Florida dads, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Villain, a bunch of surf apparel. They've got also these shorts and button-down shirts that match together. I forgot what he calls them, but their whole site has...
Romper.
Ooh, they have overalls.
Romper?
Yeah.
Is it a romper?
You're a romper.
You use promo code BDM, you get 20% off your order, and it'd be a nice Father's Day gift for the Florida dads out there. Check out villainclothing.com. That's VILLON clothing.com. So we're in the middle of Fringe Week.
It's villainfl.com.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is that what?
We
Or is
get
this if you search Villain Clothing
Yeah,
on
it'll
Google,
pop up.
it'll pop up.
It'll
Anyway, so middle of Fringe Week, and we got an email from a person that came on here in 2019 to talk about Fringe.
Perfect.
Marcus Ryan is on the couch to talk about his show, Eat, Pray, Walk. How you doing, Marcus?
Oh, hold on.
Hold on, you've got his mic.
Oh, got my mic. Oh, now I can hear. Now I can hear myself. That sounds great.
We did it. All right.
2 first names.
I'm great. Two middle names.
Oh.
Yeah, they couldn't get the first one.
Oh.
So they were undecided. We got 2 middles, but no.
2
give
middles
up.
make a first.
Yeah. I was happy on your couch before. This is good. I'm on another couch. Typical Australian. You'll never get me out of here. I've moved in.
We got booze.
And I got a beer. It's 1 in the afternoon. I got a beer. This is better than going back to work. So I'm happy.
So let's talk about the show, Eat, Pray, Walk. It's about your journey, your pilgrimage.
Yes.
621 miles.
Wow.
Through Spain and France, correct?
Yes,
Oh.
and thanks for converting the distance for people too. 'cause
When you said 1,000 kilometers,
He's a
I was like,
traditionalist.
"Whoa!"
He likes what we
And then I
do
didn't realize
here.
that
Yeah.
much.
No, I have to. I just did the show in Tampa, and it was the first time I've done the show. I've done the show in Singapore and Geneva and Canada and Australia. So I've toured it around already, but this is the first time in the US, and I started the shows in Tampa, and I realized, kilometers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, they don't know any form of measurement in Tampa.
Well,
Their measurement is in street chickens.
yeah. No, I've converted it to
Take that, Tampa.
I converted it's about 10,000 football fields that I walked.
Wow.
NFL fields, obviously. It's about I think it was 100,000 stretch Hummers or something. And
You did what, 7?
6.6 million 6.6 million hot dogs I walked across.
There's a bunch of those trails right in Spain. There's a bunch of those trails.
It's called the Camino de Santiago.
Yeah, El Camino.
The El Camino, yeah. So there was a movie.
That's the school.
Yeah,
I was thinking
that's
the
a car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a film called The Way, which Martin Sheen was in.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez produced, and it's a crap film. It's a piece of shit. So a lot of people go to do the walk because of that, because they've seen that movie.
Okay.
And it's just a Spanish. It's traditionally a religious pilgrimage. A lot of people do it now because of spiritual reasons. Someone died, or they want to find themselves. And I did it because I'm self-employed and I had nothing to do. I was just
Okay.
like, I'll go for a
But
walk.
there's a lot of people like that too who do the trail.
Well, there are, and a lot of people do it to hook up, and a lot of people go to break up. And
Wait, they do it
Like that.
to get laid? I mean, wouldn't it? I mean, that's extreme.
I mean, a couple of people had affairs on that trip, so
Hey!
Backpackers.
There's a lot of trail people.
These are
Like, if you-
career-
the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
There's other trails.
I mean, people that have dirty genitals love rubbing them together. They love it.
hey, 4 times Burning Man, I tell you.
They like it dusty.
So, Marcus, when you're preparing to do this, what's some of the preparation you even have to do? How much money do you need? Or what?
That
tell me
would
about
be
it.
my number one question. Is like
The money?
Well,
Or
just like
preparation.
what
It's
do you
not
decide is
five-star
the-
resort.
You're not walking with a Gucci bag.
Right, but do you start out with do you budget it? Like, do you do like any other company or person would do? Like, my budget is $1,500.
No,
$300.
I've never budgeted in life. I've always been the person I'm least responsible person for giving any advice on travel, even though I've traveled probably the most.
Yeah, like you're the guy that stops in here once a year to tell us about. He's our most traveled guest.
I love adventures, and this is an adventure.
I feel like, in a weird way, if you were to get the prompt from Midjourney and type in what you think you would want to do if you were a single man, I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you were a single man, no family, I know that's your favorite. But what he's doing, you look at him and you're like, this guy's doing the thing I admire, right? He's doing your
I say
dream
that
job.
because I only fantasize about the good parts. And I forget
It's
about
tough.
all the loneliness and the goddamn
Yeah, but that doesn't
mosquitoes.
matter to you because you don't have emotions.
No, but I do get lonely.
Not many mosquitoes,
Oh my
It's like
God. Lonely
dry
sparrow in the
No.
world.
mountain
I
trails.
knew I shouldn't have said that. So Marcus, where do you start? And then like describe the actual journey as far as like I'm sure it goes through some towns, and from what I saw on your Instagram, like there's a lot of just woods you're walking through.
Yeah, and it's scary too. Like it's middle of the. You get up at 5 in the morning to
Yeah.
walk because it's super hot in the daytime. So you want to walk early in the day to get rid of to get through a big distance before it gets really hot. So you walk with a flashlight on your head to get started, and then
So
you go through the
dorky.
woods.
God.
Oh, well, it's you're getting
God,
up
that's
early.
dorky.
You
What's
don't want to
very
hold a
big-
flashlight.
what do you-
Dorks hold flashlights. Cool trail people have it on their
Mine's
Who
on the
are you
head.
trying
but-
to convince, me or you?
So Marcus,
I made the mistake. I had a flashlight on my head. So, so many
Do you
people
wash
trying to.
it? Do you wash it?
Just
Never
teabag.
wash it.
That's why I kept hooking up all the way. Bunch of random dudes
Yeah.
jumping on my head.
I've never been teabagged so much.
so many lonely nights.
what kind of supplies are you bringing? Like how big is your
Did
backpack?
you just Harry brought a flashlight?
No, there's got to be.
You got to travel
sleeping
light.
bag. What do you bring?
No sleeping bag. You basically take an eighth of your body weight. So
Penis.
you carry pretty much nothing on your back. You
Yeah.
have two changes of clothes, and you wash every 2 days of your washing. And you take 2 pairs of shoes, 1 pair of flip flops, and then you take like a little dry towel maybe. And like people try and lower their weight so much that they'll cut their toothbrushes in half. They sort of really, really minimalize what they've got.
And part of
That's
that's
not going to matter, really.
Well,
I
part
mean,
of-
you're not going to get to like
I know.
mile
They also
2,000
make like
and be
tiny
like,
travel ones now.
Yeah, I
should've-
know, I know.
should've cut the-
a
God,
lot
should've
of
cut my
work.
toothbrush.
Yeah.
But it's
Like
also
8 more ounces. They're gonna do nothing.
the pilgrimage is religious in nature, right? Like so, like it was originally it was like a network of trails where you could design and visit like relics, right? And
I think
I'm
the
a
holy
relic.
sites.
Well, I think factually, and please don't Google this, but there was a guy. His name was Saint Tiago, and
Sure.
so he went to go catch up with Jesus, and Jesus was busy. He was tied up that weekend. And he's like, bloody hell, Jesus, we're going to have a bender. And so he went home. He died on the way home.
Uh-huh.
And then he became a saint because of it, right?
Okay.
So that's where it all stems from.
And you're
That
repeating that journey.
People are trying to repeat his journey.
Yeah.
And
Is
it
the
actually-
goal to die just like him?
I
at the-
believe so. There's people there's people carry the crosses, people do the whipping. Like there's real devout Christians who do it. And
Do these people, okay, if you're walking the trail and do you wear like a ceremonial diaper to be like to make yourself look? I mean, like if I were going to do
Some
the
people do
whipping,
it barefoot,
and
right?
if I were going to do
Yeah,
no,
there's
I would.
yeah.
But I'm
Some-
just telling you guys right now, I'm carrying the cross. I got the ceremonial Jesus diaper on. I'm bleeding. I have a crown of thorns on my head. They've pierced my forehead, and the blood is starting to mix with sweat.
Too
It's
much.
kind of cascading
Method.
over my eyes, right? And I'm carrying this, and I've got like I don't know how many thousands of miles I've got to go, and then I stop and I lean my cross over to a tree, and then I reach into my Yeti cooler and pull out a Gatorade. Like that's
Exactly.
weird, right? That's just
Yeah.
weird.
So
yeah.
They do that though. They break
Yeah.
the third wall of like this is so ceremonial, but then I have to stop and eat like a
Yeah.
gel pack or
It's
like,
like-
a granola bar.
It's like when you see monks, like Buddhist, they're on vacation somewhere, and then they've got their full gown, they've got the shaved head, and then
Smoking
they
a
pull
cigarette.
out their iPhone out of there.
yeah, it's weird.
Hey.
This is weird.
Smoking a cigarette.
yeah. I do like that would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette, the cross is leaning against a tree.
Yeah.
You know you've got a lot more to do.
So Marcus,
We're real people.
When you start your journey, there's always a point, like, and I hear this because we've interviewed a lot of people that have done these journeys or these long adventures.
You're obsessed with it.
And there's always a point, and I've seen this, I've felt it a little bit, when, like anytime I was doing old radio bits, anytime it was longer than the show, or it's like you had to do it.
What about your what is it, 72 hours?
or whatever the dumb bit is. There's always
Yeah.
like immediately after, like when the start fit, like when you start it, you're kind of happy and over, like you're like, oh, this is a start, you're excited, and then like 5 hours into it, all of a sudden the reality of how long it is or how much you're gonna have to do sets in, and then you start getting like, oh shit, like this is serious.
The
like,
pink clouds start to fade
Yeah.
away.
you feel that too?
That was about 3 days in.
Okay.
Wow.
So there was a revolution when I walked through there. The Catalans were trying to get away from the rest of Spain.
Always.
So there was genuine protests in Barcelona when I first got there. There was like big protests. They were trying to break away. People went to jail, like politicians went to prison for it, and so there was riots on every like town I went through.
Are you just like, how close are you to the riots? Because I feel like on this journey, if you told me, hey, Dan, they're going to be riots, you'll be fine. You'll get to observe the riots. You won't be hurt. You'll just kind of navigate through the riots. I'd go, give me the riot. You know what I mean? Like, because I think it makes the adventure.
Oh yeah, and I was fine.
Yeah.
Like
Living on the edge.
At this,
I mean, I don't know.
At this point, I think because last time I was here, we talked about my South American trip, and I'd experienced riots through every country I'd been through in Brazil, and
It's just the vibe you're bringing.
Yeah.
yeah, like it followed me. I think.
Uh-huh.
So-
Change your name to Marcus Riot.
Yeah, Marcus Riot. There we go. So
Sounds like a wrestler.
we need a
A porn
sound
star.
effect. So that I think in Spain they're right. Their skills aren't rioting. They're more just like, yeah, let's have a little protest. But then there was
then a
nothing
siesta.
dangerous going on. Yeah, it was fine. It was more of a big celebration. Any reason to get out and hang around with a flag? Why not?
Why
Oh,
do you do
by
it?
the
Do you do
way,
it for the party or do you do it for? Sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say
No.
real quick while the chat room says his show would be mega interesting. That's a perfect time for me to plug your show.
Hell yeah.
Which you can go and see. Which venue are
Red
you
venue.
in?
Red
Red. Go see him at the Red venue. Get your
Shakes.
button first. Multiple shows on just about every day. It's called Marcus Ryan Eat, Pray, Walk.
Yeah, I started last night. It was great. It was a good
How'd
show.
it go?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I've changed a bit since Tampa. In Tampa, people don't know as many things.
Yeah.
That's what I
Different-
said.
Yeah, it's a different animal.
I
up
had to
there.
over-explain a lot of
Yeah.
things,
It's
and
very
that was
blue-collar.
fine.
Yeah.
Marcus,
They're not
Tampa-
world travelers. They're space
Yeah.
travelers.
Oh well, Orlando's a bit more international, right? So
Right.
in Tampa, I come out 5 minutes before my show starts just to talk to the crowd so they can understand my accent. I'm like,
Where's
all right,
he from?
so this is how I talk,
Oh
just
my
so you go,
God.
just to
So you
get
have to
people
do
used
you
to
have
it.
to do a warm-up for your voice? Like-
Wow, it's more of an
To
intro, but
familiarize
a little bit, yeah. Because
Yeah.
honestly, sometimes you come out and people are just like, "Where's that from? Who's it?" You
And
know,
then they can't hear anything you're saying.
they're
'cause
they're not
figured
listening
out.
to what you're
He's
actually
white
saying.
Chinese.
White Chinese.
White Chinese. Get him! Get him! Get him!
Well, that's the second part they say. The first part is what you are. The second part is always get them.
Oh my God.
While we're talking about Chinese, I just I'm looking at buying a house here as well. It's not for me, but a Chinese guy gave me some cash. He wants me to buy it. So.
Yeah.
Whoa, topical.
That's what
They don't let that. It's not allowed anymore.
That was too
Really?
serious.
At least that's what I think he said. I don't got no understanding.
My wife just sold 2 houses
Yeah.
to some it was someone in China.
They're
or an
signing
investment
a bill
company
to
or
make
So
that
what you're
illegal.
saying is you're aiding the communists.
it's just or you sell a house to whoever is the highest bidder.
Out of state buyers are not going to be allowed. Like they're signing.
Are
that
they
bill.
doing that?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I heard the
Happened
other
to ring
day.
it out.
That no Chinese person can own house, or even
Yeah.
if they're citizens here, they can't own a house in Orlando within certain distance of a
Just Florida.
political
Oh my
area.
God, and my
oh,
dad-
Florida, is it?
My
yeah.
dad's dead. He doesn't even get to see that.
Yeah,
A lot of Brazilians buy houses here. too.
Yeah, my dad would be like, you'd be like
foreign nationals. Yeah. Well, because which is interesting because there's a visa that if you have to like buy in. I don't know. It's not interesting. I'll shut up.
But it was like
no,
investment.
no,
We're
yeah.
not buying it to live here. It's not like a Chinese family's
It's
living
an
here.
investment.
They're just buying up investment properties.
Well, if you
know.
own property or you own a business, it was easier to get a green card or it's not even a green card. It's called a foreign investor visa or something. Like there was a French cafe that was downtown, and in order for them to live here, they had to own a business. they were trying to sell it
we must hold the business.
and move somewhere else, but because they couldn't, they all had to leave the country. They've lost their visa because they don't have their business anymore, basically.
Way to bring the room down.
Well, it's an interesting program. It's just an interesting program. Is all.
So, Marcus, where did you sleep on your journey? I'm curious. Like, is it hotels, hostels, like anywhere? Someone offers you a place to crash?
I love that you keep coming back to my show, which is great, and that's what I'm here for. But I keep derailing my own promotion.
That's fine.
Let's talk about China right now.
That's why but that's why we like you, because every time you come in here, we are tangent based and we just go wherever we think we need to go. And I don't know why people still continue to listen to us, but they do, and they like that. I guess there are a lot of us out here that bounce around the room.
Yeah, I'm certain I'm ADHD. I just never went to the thing to get looked at. And I'm like, all right, now talk about the thing.
There's no time.
What's that? Shiny objects.
There's little stations along the trail. Right.
Yeah, so they have these things. They call them LBG. I don't know how to pronounce
LBG,
it. It's essentially a
LBGTQs.
it's essentially a dormitory hostel, backpackers kind of thing. But they're built specifically for the pilgrims doing the walk. So you turn up to towns, you get this little booklet which has a list of all the places and how many beds each place has. So you kind of plan your walk hoping that you're going to get somewhere. You can't book ahead. You just turn up. Some of them have a couple of hundred beds in separate rooms. The biggest room I slept in with, in one room, 90 people in one space.
And there's always like
is it
one
like
Swedish
bunk
person.
beds? No, bunk beds, like hostel. Okay. Kids have bunks, right? So basically, 90 people in this one huge space. That's a lot of people.
Is
to
it
sleep
awkward and like, or everybody nice?
You asked me. You going to be able to change into your pajamas in front of everybody?
I've had a couple of years at the Orgy Dome, and so I'm fine.
Like, who are the other people? Is it everybody on the journey?
Yeah, it's specifically people doing the walk. So everyone sort of gets there, 1 or 2 in the afternoon. You get there, you wash your clothes. Some people have naps. You go out for dinner, and then you end up going to bed around 9 o'clock at night because everyone's getting up at 6 or whatever time in the morning. So everyone's got the same kind of pattern. You're not just turning up to a random town and no one knows what's going on. It's a path.
And then they kind of end up in little pods, right? Like you could end up, depending on how fast you walk, like with the same people at most of the stops.
Some people walk maybe whatever average 15 miles a day kind of thing. You might walk double someone else, so you might not see them again, or you might slow down one day, have a rest day, people catch up.
It's really cool.
People go on their own and they meet people and they walk in groups. Others, I met this couple from Sweden, Olof and Isabella.
I bet you did.
They were a couple and they broke up halfway through.
Yeah,
and
that's the couple you want to get around the Swedes, and then he breaks up and you're banging his hot ass.
I've seen Super Troopers.
But then the hard thing for them was they were walking the same journey. It's not like they were just traveling around Europe.
No, you have to go back.
Yeah,
you got to give me one day.
Because you're all walking to Santiago, so there's all one direction, right? So you can't really just. It's not like you're in Europe and you're like, I'm just going to go on a vacation somewhere else. Like they were like, all right, well now it's awkward. I'm walking
my God!
next
Imagine if the Swedish wife starts then like walking with some other dude, and then you have to sit, and the rest of your pilgrimage is you watching your ex-wife, soon to be, walk with some other dude, and he,
they're talking about you on that hill
up
ahead.
Oh yeah, you know they are. I see them sipping out of their canteen, getting refreshed.
Oh, he's got
talking about the size of my genitals.
Oh, the size of his toothbrush.
Exactly.
No,
I shaved it down. I shaved it down.
It's not the size; it's how you use it.
Do the little places you stop and sleep? Do they cost money? Like you got to leave?
I gotta go.
Yeah, around 7.
Oh my God, are you late?
Okay,
Brendan's got to go. All right. Bye, Brendan.
Brendan, we'll see you.
Brendan O'Connor, everybody.
Going on his pilgrimage.
Yep, he's starting his walk now. Sometimes inspiration just,
come along if you want.
Just strikes. And
So, it costs about €7.
Yeah, like €5-7 or something like that.
And then what do you eat? Like, do you stop and eat? Are there long stretches
with nothing?
With nothing, or they're always you're walking through some town?
Yeah, you tend to be walking through. There's always towns every like half an hour, 2 hours or whatever. So you can get food. Like you go to a supermarket, grab an apple, grab some, whatever you need to get to graze. I thought I took a bunch of food like the first day, thinking, I'm going to get hungry along the way. But if you go for a hike, you survive on trail mix and maybe a couple of granola bars or something.
Gotcha.
Each town you get to, there's so many cafes and things. So you might go to make a big sandwich for yourself, or the amazing thing about this walk is you discover how much your body can achieve if you just put your mind to it and do it, right? We all can achieve so much. We get lazy in life, but I was waking up 5 a.m. No one's pushing me to do anything. It's just me, and I'm like getting up. I walked for 6 miles before I've even had a drop of water or eat anything. And then I have a little espresso coffee and a little cafe bar thing, a little croissant, and then I walk again another 6 miles. So I've walked, like half a day, and I'm eating barely anything. And you just get used to it. It's a mindset. And then I walked across the country, and I'm like, oh, you can do it.
How long did it take you?
Around 35 days, 38 days, I think. I had 2 rest days. So all up, I say 40 days. But it was like, there was 2 rest days I took so I could check out Leon, one of the big cities, and Santiago, which is where where it ends for a lot of people. But then I went across to the coast, which a lot of other people do. Then I walked around the coast a bit, and I got to 927 kilometers roughly. And in my mind, I was like, "Oh, that's a bit OCD. I need to round it up."
Yeah.
So I walked 3 days by myself backwards to another town where I knew a friend there. So I just said, I'll just go to that place. And that was funny because I was walking nowhere near any other people. I was literally just walking on highways, random towns, having to book hotels. And I passed these neighborhoods where locals were coming out of their houses, seeing that I'm a pilgrim. And they're going, "You're going the wrong way." Like they're in talking in Spanish.
Oh,
and
right.
and I'm laughing.
Yeah.
You must be
funny.
lost. I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was sweet,
That
but it was
is
just so
nice.
funny because I had to try and convince these random people, like, no, you don't have to help me. I'm
good.
I'm an idiot, but I'm good.
Here, we'd be like, look at this.
I'm just
Yeah.
killing some time here.
And I was getting lost. I was like checking Google Maps offline to I think I can get a path through there. And I was cutting through bushes, and it was, there's a couple of moments where I was like, probably not great, but
So there, I just from reading the bio of the show again, Eat, Pray, Walk. The one part says that you were lost in a desert.
Yeah.
So what desert is? It's funny because I have no concept of even on the map. Like I kind of know where France and Spain are, but if you tell me I walk from the Spain into France or whatever, it really doesn't compute. My dumb American geography brain.
We're not used to it. I mean, I don't think we're stressed.
So-
European history isn't stressed here.
No.
So if you told me there was a desert in Spain or France, I'll be like, really? I have no idea.
Oh, that's
So-
interesting.
So, what's say 35, 40 degrees Celsius? What's that? 100 and something Fahrenheit, right?
I have no idea.
Another question we don't know the answer to.
So you talk to me like I'm from Tampa.
Yeah. So I'm talking Saskatchewan, that's Canada, but Iowa, I'm talking Midwest, flat stretches of road. So the Romans built these roads, and they were really flat stretches of road through these deserts. There's no shade. You're walking in the heat, and there's parts of it though because you follow these little yellow arrows. These are they've been marked out for years where to the basic to get through. Most of the roads are pretty self-explanatory, but I didn't have apps, so I didn't have a smartphone.
You didn't have a phone the whole time?
I had a phone, but it wasn't. There's no internet. I didn't have a SIM card or anything, so I'm just sort of winging it. Like most people, you do cross paths.
I like that you did not have a way to kill time.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
There's no way for you to watch porno and jack off.
It's hard to walk and jack off.
Wow, that's usually...
Did you go the whole time?
I mean, usually I ask that question, but apparently I was too interested in our guest.
I was trying to find myself, and I found myself.
I was just, that's impressive. Just go 30-something days.
That is impressive.
It's nothing like a religious pilgrimage to make me horny. I feel like jacking off right now in this cathedral.
I'm just asking the questions everybody else is thinking about.
Really? I don't think I've ever been asked that one in 6 years.
No one's asked you where'd you jack off?
Where did you jack off on the Camino?
It'll happen now.
But you didn't pull over into the bushes and rub one out. You're like, God damn, it's been 2
weeks. You gotta do it before, right before you take the first step.
Yeah, but there's some point, you're alone in the bushes, and then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go out. You get horny, right? After days and days.
I think there's too many guys in the bushes just jacking off, like surprising people.
Yeah, you
It's
run
like,
in there. There's 60 other guys.
Is that a pervert? No, he's just a pilgrim.
Yeah, he just gets horny after
So
time.
back to the desert. Sorry.
Yes. So there's you wake up in the morning, it's dark, and you leave. And I was walking with this French girl I'd met. We'd had a little fling, and we said, "Oh yeah, we'll leave today, and we'll go." And she left like 5 minutes ahead of me, and I was like, "I'll catch up." I just had to, pack up my stuff.
By the way, I forgot you had the option to hook up with actual women.
Yeah.
He's like,
In my
I
mind,
had
I
a
was
fling with a French girl. He's like, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I have to wipe my ding dong off.
Well, that's why you didn't have
That's
to
what
go
I
to the
heard.
bushes.
That's what. When you said that, you'll be like, she's like, I'm leaving
Yeah.
5 minutes ahead. Yes, you go pee me out. I'll wipe myself off, and I'll see you on the train.
No. Just leaving in the morning. And then, so she left, and she followed the right direction, and I just got lost. And I went out of town, and I went the completely wrong way, and I ended up out lost in the woods and then desert area. So it gets hot in the middle of the day. There was nobody around. Not lost in the sense of I'm in the Sahara Desert, with days of walking with no civilization, but lost in the sense of I don't know where I'm going, which direction. I could go to someone's house and get a taxi or something, but I got to walk it. Like you get so stubborn and fixed on your ways. Like, no, I'll figure this out. But anyway, I lost that girl because she ended up staying at a town that I didn't get to, and I was somewhere else, and so we didn't see each other for about a week. And
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so when you're like, you got a routine down where you're waking up, before the sun rises, and then you're walking while it's cool, and you just fall into that daily routine of just walk every single day. And then do you allow yourself to like hang out and party at any place, or like when you're at, there's a ton of people on this trail, and I've heard from like the Appalachian Trail and like other, like people get together and then they hang out and they'll go to town and they'll drink or whatever.
Yeah,
Let's go to town.
Well, no, that's what they do, I think.
This is the great thing about the Spanish is they love little fiestas, and they've got these plazas that are just like there's always something going on, little events happening. So there's live music going on in the streets. Bars, all the laneways of bars and stuff, tapas bars. It's such a good atmosphere. So there's always something going on. The problem with the accommodation you stay in, they have a curfew at 10 p.m. So, and they hate the people that are staying there. Like, because we get there late, they lock the doors. We're bashing on the doors, trying to climb fences to get in. We're like, you guys have, the only reason you're open is because of us.
Why the curfew? Just for safety reasons?
I don't know. Some of them are run by nunneries. Some of them are run by, volunteers and things. So they just have a strict rule, and it's just quite amusing when you turn up drunk at 10 o'clock and like, let me into my bed.
Will they like keep you out there or refuse?
It has happened, yeah.
And you just sleep out and outside?
Yeah, I was actually chatting to a girl once in a bar in Leon, I think, and I was like, sorry, I've got to go. I have to leave. I've got to go to bed. In my dorm.
Because if you don't get there in time, you're sleeping on the streets, right? God,
I mean, there's
crazy.
There's no stop. Like, I could have just stayed there and just hung out for a couple of days. It doesn't, there's no race to get to the other end. It's just up to you what you want to do. So you get in a mindset where you just want to walk every day. That's amazing, though, how your brain just goes, yep, I have to keep walking. That's
Question from the chat room. Dan Paul wants to know that are there lifers on the trail, like people that's what they do and they're just going to stay there until they die?
I met a guy who is from Denmark. He's about 70-something, and he wore this huge cloak. It was like a big curtain, kind of thick fabric, and he smoked a pipe. He'd done it 7 times. Like he comes back every year. So there's people that do this same thing each year. Some people do different routes. There's one from Portugal. There's one, people come from, I met a guy who walked from Geneva in Switzerland. So he'd walked 2,000 kilometers before I've even met him. Like,
Good Lord.
It's crazy. So people do it every year. Others do it, just once, and like that's enough.
Is there any danger in do people warn you of like, hey, be careful of pickpockets, or people steal your bag? I don't know. Like, what is there any danger at all?
Watch out for the feral children.
There's potentially dangers. I mean, I think I've heard that one person actually was assaulted on the walk, years ago, which wasn't a good thing, obviously. But
jacking off in the bushes.
I think.
Well, one person assaulted years ago is not that dangerous. Statistically.
Statistically, yeah.
Sure,
But otherwise, there's no the wildlife. There's no crazy. There's no bears and cougars in Spain. Yeah. You're dealing with injuries mostly. Tendinitis is probably the worst thing that happened to me. It's just your legs are stuffed. You can't move. The only thing to recover is rest, and I don't want to rest when I'm walking every day. I'm like, no, got to keep moving.
Oh, it's like Tom and his hands.
That's why I have an armband, is because I can't stop jacking up.
Jacking up.
I'm like, I don't want to stop.
I knew that's what it was.
So you get blisters. You get it. Like a lot of people give up. Some people have died along the way.
Oh my God!
Damn it.
Oh, it's like it's
We
long.
die of a natural cause.
Sure.
But a lot of people are. The average age is probably 60 something, right? So there's a lot of older people doing it because they got time to do it as well, right? Younger people aren't doing it because it's not necessarily a Kentucky tour.
It's not TikTok. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So what's the worst part about it? Like when do you say like, God, this is
sick of this?
Yeah, like how many different like sort of pilgrimages have you been on?
I think I've done it. That's the first one and probably the last. Like,
You think so? That's it?
I'll do something similar in the future. Like, my next plan. The good thing last night my show ran a little bit early, which was fun. But I had a Q&A after my show, and some people are asking me, "What's the next adventure for you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm probably going to cycle New Zealand." So I want to like cycle the length of a country. I think North and South Island of New Zealand would be a good thing. Because there's a lot of mountains and a lot of, it's cool scenery, and do gigs along the way and raise money for a charity. So,
dope, man.
but that kind of thing, that interests me to do different stuff, or the Mongol Rally, like, those shitbox car races people do. I don't know if you know that.
What is this?
Yeah, you have to have a car, and it can only be worth under $1,000 or something. Like, it has to be a piece of crap.
Okay.
And you you cover the car with all the sponsors and labels.
We should do that.
Yeah, it'd be a great idea. You guys should do it because you can get sponsors on
Speed
board.
World down here.
Just
Let's
get
do it.
one person who knows how to change a tire, and you'll be good.
Yeah, I know how to change a tire.
And you
Get the
do
grunt
one. So
truck
there's
back.
there's races. They go right from like Eastern Europe, and you drive right across Europe into Mongolia. So that's the Mongol Rally, I think it's called. There's one.
Can you imagine
Dakar,
if Tom and Dan do the Mongol Rally?
The Dakar Rally, I think, goes from Bolivia somewhere down into somewhere South Central America.
There's a lot of these. I find them all fascinating because there's
me
like,
too.
there's the gumball rally. It's
Fireball.
all part of it,
Yeah.
Then there's like, that from Key West to Alaska or whatever it is, like that's a motorcycle trail.
There's a bunch of different ones.
All these things, and like people are drawn to doing it, and that's kind of leads me to my next question, Marcus, is when you do something like this, what do you get out of it? Like, because I'm sure when it's all said and done, you reflect on it. Like, do you get the most out of it when you're on the journey or when it finishes? Like, tell me about mentally where you're at when you do these things.
So I did it, especially this Camino walk. Everyone's going to ask you, what's your intention? So why are you doing it? And that's a big thing. I didn't know that's going to be asked. So my advice would be to know why you're doing it, because it's just going to be annoying talking to people.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Who
That's
are you
good to
doing
know.
this for? Why? Did you lose someone? Are you spreading their ashes?
Because people want a reason, right?
yeah.
Which you didn't have one going.
They're
into
like,
it.
I have a reason. What's yours?
Yeah,
It's like that.
It's like asking someone what their tattoo means.
And they get
That's
angry.
the worst question.
And they almost get really angry at you if you haven't, like, I'm Forrest Gump. I just went for a walk.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. I was like,
Like, why are you here?
By the way,
You're like,
Tom
I don't-
asks why anybody does anything all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
All the time.
Even if it's a common hobby.
I want someone to
Why?
have
Why do you
intention.
do it?
Yeah. I need to know their intention.
But so afterwards, I looked back at it and I thought about it. No, there was really no intention besides the fact that I like to do random things to
Just gain
create
experience,
stories and
right?
experience.
Yeah.
It's more about experience. I didn't do it thinking I would have a show out of it either. Like there was no reason to go, oh, I'll write a show about this.
Were you keeping like a journal or anything?
So I made the mistake, which it was not a mistake because I knew I would not have kept a journal if I didn't take it, but I carried my laptop with me, which is a huge amount of weight
It is.
considering what you should be carrying, right? So that was a big weight, but I knew that if I was just trying to journal on a notebook or my phone, I would get distracted. I can't type like that. So I took my laptop so I could write, and I wrote about 1,000 words every single day just to create a diary. And I even I posted that on my Facebook, so people were following that little journey of mine, and they were enjoying it, and they were following it. So at the end of that, I realized, I've got about 40,000 words here, and I should turn this into something. So then probably 6 months later, I went back to Australia, and I realized I could put it together and make a show out of it. And it's turned into something really good. So
That's awesome.
I get a lot of great reviews from reviewers and audience members coming up. Some are crying, some are like finding it really inspiring and motivational. Some are jerking off in the
Yeah.
So I had to
You gotta add that for guys like Tom.
had to take the emotion away for
Well,
you.
he has to leave
Well,
any performance
yeah.
he's watching.
You know what it is, Marcus?
He's like, I gotta go jerk off. I'm too crazy.
It's just
Yeah.
for the rest of humanity, for the most part, we all just live these, quote unquote normal lives where you have a job, you get the weekends off, you
Yeah.
go through the grind of life, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do something abnormal like this, I think it's like people are fascinated with it. They're like, well, shit, that sounds like something so far beyond what I'm doing in my life.
Why? A lot of people go, why would you do
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
But
You
then
know?
people, I
The
don't like.
never-ending cycle continues.
Like for
Don't
me,
you want stability?
yeah.
I'm attracted to that because it is freeing and you have no time constraint of when this is finished. There's no reason for it. Like all these
Yes.
things together is
Yeah.
like just a true spontaneous adventure for no reason other than to collect life experience, which is the most valuable thing you can have in life because we're at the end of it.
True.
That's all we have. All the money and shit you can't take with you.
Exactly,
It's like,
yeah.
look what I experienced. And I think a lot of people like that, although it's hard to push yourself to do, and sometimes it's impossible. Like most of us can't
You're right.
just go
Sometimes
fucking
you can't
walk a
do it at
trail.
all,
Like
right.
we have jobs and families and
Yeah.
stuff, so we live vicariously through you, Marcus, where you did that, and then we tell ourselves like I could do it, but we never do.
Well,
Yeah, we're not strong enough.
And I live vicariously through my friends as well who have kids and have a mortgage and have all. I'm like, oh, how do you pay off that? And so, but also like they, I get to visit my friends who have kids and then I get to see how their life is, and I enjoy that. I've got 7 nieces and nephews, and I'm kind of like I'm okay with that. That's fine for me. I've looked at that option of life, and I've also thought, I just don't think it's my lifestyle. So I like to do
it'd be a
these things.
prison for you, Marcus.
It would.
You
It
wake
would
up
be.
every day for work. You'll be your coffee. Your kids are screaming. They don't want to eat their
And
goddamn
all
Yeah.
you
Lunchables.
do, all you want to do is walk to a place where you and 60 of your homies can jack off in the bushes.
It's hard to jack off, when you got
Yeah.
kids running
Yeah,
around.
like, get these kids out of here, man. I'm horny.
Now, back to the money thing, because so that each hostel or the place you stay at is
Yeah.
€7. So there had to have been you need a baseline of money to survive, right?
Yeah.
So you did have that, and did you get close to running out, or was there?
No,
Can
no.
you make anything on the trip?
No, but it wasn't it's not like a game of, it wasn't like the Amazing Race or something. I wasn't given a budget at the start, and I had a credit card and I have money, so I have worked before it. Like, I knew leading up to it, I wasn't like broken, like, oh, this is I need to do this to survive. I knew I've got money, I'll take a month off and I'll travel. So I'd been working at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I was doing shows there for a month. Which was, as far as preparation goes, this is exactly what I did. So totally not what you should do. I worked 2 shows a day in Edinburgh for 25 days in a row, like 2 one-hour shows I was performing. And in Scotland, you're drinking all night, you're eating deep fried food. Then I went to the south of France for the first week of September with my girlfriend at the time. We drank wine, we went to a wedding, ate all the cheese, and then we broke up just before I went to the walk. So, that was great preparation, physically and mentally. And I borrowed some shoes. I had a cheap backpack I bought in Asia, a fake North Face bag. That broke 3 days into the walk, the strap. I'm not, I wasn't a fit person. I have a good metabolism, so I don't look like I'm, I might look like I work out sometimes, but I'm just I just get by. So you don't have to be really fully trained. It's just a mindset sometimes.
Do you ever flip the switch and choose to travel in the extreme opposite of this? Like, do you ever go and book like a
sandals resort?
Yeah. Like would you ever?
Hedonism.
Because it's a completely different
Cruise ship.
It's a different experience, right? Like, would you ever get like first class flight to a place and then you're up at you're in the penthouse and because there is. I mean, they both have their.
You go to a resort,
merit.
you never leave the resort. It's gated off. You just go to the pool every day.
Maybe he's tired of walking.
The idea of sitting in a resort or even just laying on a beach chair and just sitting there, I'd be bored after 10 minutes. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd have to get up and move around. So
yeah.
I think I flew from. I have stayed in nice places. I used to do gigs in Southeast Asia, and the company they would fly you from. I flew from London to Bangkok, and they put us up in these they're fully sponsored by all these 5-star hotels. We got premium economy flights there. It was really nice, lounge passes. But when we're in these hotels, me and these other comedians, we're doing like 20 minutes of dick jokes a night. Like that's what our job was. And you get to the hotel room, and we're all lined up in the corridor about to open our hotel room doors, and we go. When you look in and we all just walk back out and go, I think they've given us the wrong room. Like we were in suites, and I could have slept on the couch in the foyer of the suite I was staying in.
and it'd been nicer than most places you stay in.
And then rented out my actual bed to someone else. So I don't need that, you know. But I flew.
It's Crocodile Dundee sleeping on the floor because he's not used to the soft bed.
Exactly.
That's insulting to our guests.
Like I don't.
I understood it.
He's like Crocodile Dundee, Dan. He sleeps on the floor. Ask him about his night. Don't say that out loud. You can think it all day long.
I flew this year, and I do fly good flights sometimes because of friends and things like that.
And you should. A good flight is awesome.
I've never traveled. I've never used points or frequent flyer things. I've always gone the cheapest.
We only use
flight.
our points to fly in comedians for our events.
Yeah,
because we are cheap.
And I do say thank you for flying me in today. That's great.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you're more than welcome.
From the other side of Orlando with your chopper. No, I flew Australia to LA this year a few weeks ago with Qantas, and it was business class flight. And that's because a friend of mine works for Qantas, and he asked me last year randomly, "Do you want to be on my staff travel?" And I said,
a buddy
"Sure."
pass.
I said, "Sure." Do you need a blowjob? Like, what? How is this? What's the transaction?
Let's do it.
And he goes, "No, I've just got like family, but they're all got kids, and they wouldn't ever fly standby because they don't have the time. You know, like to have 4 a wife and husband and 2 kids." Flying standby, they have to be ready to go. It's cancelled, so they can't plan a week holiday on that. So I was like, he goes, "No, you'll be right. You know how to travel." I said, "Cool." So I flew Melbourne to LA this year, business class, and it cost me the tax. So it was I think it was a $500 Australian $500, so 250 US. Business class. Fully like
God, that would have been $2,000 ticket or something, right?
Even right now, an economy flight Melbourne to LA was about $1,500 to
Okay, so business class, we're talking 5,000, 8,000,
easily over
probably
$5K.
$8,000 ticket. Like it's insane.
Easily,
and then when you're sitting there, like, oh my God, this is so nice. I've done that with Buddy Pass.
So I was jacking off, and
they got were you in a pod?
Jackpot.
I don't understand the price of anything anymore. Those Four Season hotel, the suite that we had during COVID.
Yeah.
Like my family, like everything shut down. They opened up Four Seasons here, and we got like this amazing room for 4 days. It was like $300 a night, but it was like a suite with like the lazy river and the whole nine. And then you go back to book that room now, and it's like $5,000 a night. And I'm like, well,
what are you going to do there
I don't
for the night?
understand that anymore, because it can't be 5,000 one time and 300 during the.
Well, they were trying to get people to stay there because everything was shut down.
You've ruined it for me now. You've got to ruin it for me now.
It doesn't make sense that I don't understand how it works, but. Look, to be in those kind of positions, it's just such a nice little moment, And even my mum, she texts me and it's like, "Oh wow, you're in business. It must be, is there a important person next to you?" And I messaged my mum, I was like, "You're important. Like, treat yourself to this sort of shit. You've got like my parents have done well for themselves, but they're of that generation where they won't spend money on anything like that. Yeah. It's like do it once,
like
that.
But you know what the problem is?
But when he finally bought his EcoBoost truck, he was very happy about that.
When you spend the money on that first class ticket or whatever, it's so much that you have buyer's remorse
instantly.
When you're at the end of it, you're just like, well, now it's over. and I landed, and that shit was $5,000, and I could have used that money for that's over it.
anything, right.
That little
Yeah.
experience, and then when you're sitting there, you want to get the most out of it, so you don't want to sleep.
You're eating all the gummy bears. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, extra everything.
That and the same thing with the hotel. And back to the resorts. In like all these sitcoms, like Modern Family, like they'll do the Modern Family from Hawaii. They'll do the quintessential Hawaii episode. And in the episode, the family's just sitting around the pool at the resort. And it would bother me so much because I'm like, you're in Hawaii and you're just sitting around the pool at the resort. Like, you got to go experience it. Why'd you fly here to sit around the pool at the Hawaiian resort?
I know. My first time in Hawaii, I hitchhiked around to North Shore, and I was just jumped in the back of some guy's pickup truck, and like that kind of stuff.
That's an adventure.
That's an adventure, you know. Then
Yeah.
I got picked up by someone, and it was great fun. Like I had some stories to tell. So then I went skydiving up in North Shore and Waimea Bay, I think it's called. And it was like a magical time. But, I went to Turtle Bay, whatever that famous hotel is, and had a look at it. I was like, these people seem boring.
They're just sitting by the pool.
Well, this is how rich people live. This is shit.
Yeah, no adventure.
Yeah, they said money's great, but it's also you gotta live for it. You gotta do something.
You gotta go and do something.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
We love having you. Red venue.
Yep. Eat, Pray, Walk.
Yes.
Get your Fringe button at orlandofringe.org.
You got to have a button and a ticket. So you got to have both. But yeah, you can go to orlandofringe.org for all of the info on everything.
Oh, yeah.
How many people, Marcus, because you got a lot of followers and people from these shows, like then get inspiration and go want to do these
you
same
get
a lot.
Like
So
copycat folks that reach out to you.
Yeah, exactly. So last night I had a couple who've actually done the walk, so that was great. I usually get a lot of people who've done the walk come see the show. But a lot of people get inspired from it. I've had a lot of people come up and, they want to hug you and talk to you, and it's really beautiful because it's this show for me is not as funny as the one I've done before, like about South America. That's more joke. This one's got a better message and really important for me to tell. But it is funny as well, so it's really nice
shows
to
different sides of you as a performer too, right?
I think it's a more important thing to talk about.
You're not always dick jokes. You're not always jacking off. Sometimes there's some serious stuff we got to talk about.
It is that essential thing about intention and why we should do stuff. And you got a short time on this planet. Just you got to get out there and do it. No one's going to do it for you, So that's why I do it. And I like to travel and sacrifice my stability for those things. And that's what I give back to the world, hopefully in a good way.
Well, it's another thing too is from all these people I've talked to that have done these adventures, and you can attest to this too, and because maybe I'm wrong, but they all seem to have appreciated at the ending of what they did. Like I haven't heard a story where people are like, nah, I hated it. Like I wish I didn't do that. Like no,
there's got to be that guy. But I'd say if we're playing odds, most people get what they need to get out of it.
But it seems like most people are glad they did it. And I was gonna ask you, like, have you ever met someone who's done one of these things, like adventures, and been mad that they did it? Because that doesn't seem to exist.
I feel like they wouldn't do it, right? If it's not their thing, they probably wouldn't even do it.
I mean, from design, they're already weeded out.
Yeah.
I hated it at times. Like there were moments I was like, what am I doing this for? And
you have to. That's part of an experience.
But I'm also a comedian, so I do analyze and be cynical with a lot of stuff too.
Sure.
So and even in my show, I rip the shit out of it. Like I make fun of the movie, the way that people go there for that reason. I talk about the negatives all the time because that's where the humor is.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
But overall, it's like I did it, and there's experiences like that. So you got to go through hell to come out on the other side.
Of course,
right?
I also feel like that you are afforded that right because you did it.
Yeah.
So you're the perfect person to go and talk about the negative because you're not talking about the negative and never done it. We all hate those people.
Yeah.
You're talking about the negative after experiencing it, and we love those people.
And there's influencers out there who are like, oh, everything's beautiful, this is nice, and blah, blah, blah. So get stuffed. Like, there's shit, there's shit that happens, and you got to go through that. But I'll lay it out truthfully what happens, and I say, this is terrible. Like, this is good. There's some parts of it, but it's up to you how you want to experience it. So,
but that's the reality with everything, and that's your life. That you have to have bad experiences to appreciate the good ones, and vice versa. And then but my point is, like, anybody who does this and accomplishes it without quitting, is going to, at the end, appreciate the fact that they did it. It seems like a 100% success rate of people finishing something like this and saying to themselves, I'm glad I experienced that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that, to me, the fact that it's 100% of people that finish it appreciate it means that people should do more of that because everybody likes it at the end or is glad they did it.
Yeah.
There's hard times during the middle of it.
Of course.
But when you finish it, you always, it's like running a marathon
The
or doing
feeling of
anything.
accomplishment is something everybody needs to feel because I think if you continue to try to accomplish things, you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
Exactly, and there was moments where you've achieved something at the end and you go, wow, that was really good. Like you do walk away going, oh, I can do that. Like, and now it's funny now because sometimes I'll be lazy, like I'll be on the couch, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go out there. It's like I'll drive there, and I go, and then I have to stop myself and slap myself and go, you dickhead! You walked across the country. You can, you
Give your legs a break.
you know,
It's fine.
you feel like you're like, oh, I can't be bothered doing that. I
It's
don't
like
want
going
to
to McDonald's and you get the McDouble meal and you get with a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have just walked there.
It's like when people say, "Come on, do you want to come out to the dinner?" It's like, nah, it's too far. I can't do it. It's like
you gotta,
too far.
You just walk it.
I
You
used to
gotta
do
walk
that,
it.
yeah. But it's anyway. Look, I'm glad I get to take this around. I'm going to Atlanta as well, which is, I've never been there, so that'll be the next time.
Oh, what a great city! I love Atlanta.
Yeah, I've never been. And then I'm taking this show to Iceland, so that's a new country for me. Back to Edinburgh and then Estonia. So I'm gonna tour it around like this year. So
awesome.
Yeah.
If you're back in Orlando ever, just do
Of
exactly
course.
what you did. He hit us up. He hit me up. He's like, hey, you got room? I'm like, let's find out.
Like I said,
I
when I messaged Sam, I said this is the best part of my time when I came
we
back to
appreciate
Orlando.
that, man.
you
We
know?
love having you in. We love your stories.
Besides taking mushrooms at Universal, So
that's fun too. Did you ride anything?
So what I hear is we're going on a mud walk, right?
Yeah.
Mushroom mud walk.
Why not? I'm down.
Come on, Tom.
We got to get those new stories.
The problem with Grand Adventures is
wait a minute, is this where we're at now? We're at Jerry's final thought, everybody.
R.I.P.
He's doing it.
And this is because I could talk a big game.
And we're gonna find out about his two kids.
He's like, thank you, Marcus. All right. The problem with
My kids don't like to do anything.
I could talk a big game about life's about experiences.
no, but
get out there,
he's
do
doing
something.
what you want to do, right?
Yeah. But then I always get to the end. I'm like, well, when the computer turns off, it'll be gone. I can't take my
so you're
adventures.
saying the experiences that you're collecting,
they won't exist
so
anymore.
why bother? Because if they're just going to be turned off.
I'm joking.
But
I
what-
actually like what you're saying. This is the only thing you've ever said on the show that I support.
Yeah.
So if you're
it's
gonna,
a lot of work
when
for
you
it
want,
to disappear one day.
yeah, if you unplug my brain, all this goes away. Then why the fuck am I doing anything?
Isn't having kids the same thing though?
Exactly.
Like you're
well, they live on though, and so
That's
who knows?
true.
And
Yeah,
then
but your brain's off. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
It's you're the ones who are off. Your
But
memory's gone.
Yeah, but
he's
through-
okay with it because he's winded up his toys and sent them out in different
Yeah.
directions.
But my DNA is in some other humans, and they're gonna live on. So it's kind of like I'm living an endless life through them.
That's a
And that's
legacy.
just as good.
That's a legacy. Like some people need that for ego or whatever it is. It's like
Get out, Marcus.
So let's. No, I'm not saying it. No, I'm not saying.
I'm saying it. This guy's Mr. Ego.
Like why do we like? I've seen what my nephews look like, and let's face it, the future's not great. All right? I'm like, I don't think we need to repeat these
His
genes.
son's whole backpack was filled with water.
Yeah, I mean, you got water floating in your backpacks. I mean,
Come
come on.
on.
I don't think that needs to carry. Turn that computer off.
It's like an old gateway. It takes a while to power down.
You know the ones, we all know it. You unplug it, and you look at the source, the brick, and that green light stays on. It stays on for a solid minute and a half because it doesn't want to give up, but then you see it start to
And then
fade.
it fades. It's like, what? How is it fading? The electricity's off. It should be instantly off. It's fading.
No.
Like it's running
It's
out.
self-aware.
Have you tried turning it off and on again, Tom?
my
Marcus, thanks so much for coming in. We
Hey,
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man. We
everyone.
appreciate you. We love you, and congrats
And follow
on the shows.
him on social media too, at It's Marcus Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
follow him
please.
on social. And then, guys, make sure you snag these tickets in the red venue. It's Marcus Ryan, at It's Marcus Ryan.
Yes, please do.
For all things social, I think.
Send your friends who you know in Iceland and Atlanta to come and see me. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
anyone.
yeah.
We can handle Atlanta.
Yeah,
we have a-
Iceland, no.
Oh, really?
Atlanta, a few.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
We have a
A
lot of-
handful.
Never been to Atlanta. I don't know anyone, so that'd be great. for,
Food's
you know,
good,
spread the
man.
word.
Like,
Food's good.
Yeah, but it's going to be southern, so you know.
Hey, I'm down. I'm good. I was just in New Orleans, so it's a jazz fest.
Oh
Great
yeah,
time.
yeah. You'll be just
Yeah,
fine. You'll
love
be
it.
just fine.
Buses
Are we out of here? Are we done?
Yep. Samantha, you get semantics. This week?
Yeah, well, we have you heard about this one coming out
Oh, what are you
this
doing?
Sunday.
What are you doing?
Derek did a story that I was not familiar with. You guys know about like Deflategate and stuff like that.
Yes.
Well, there was a Spygate with Formula One that he tells me about. So
Oh, really?
tune in.
Formula One?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Man, when you're a Formula One fan, you got money. I got to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into
yeah.
the high-end race cars. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I want to get into horse racing and high-end race
Yeah,
cars.
yeah,
Because that's when people see, they're like, "What sports do you follow?" And you go, "Horse racing, F1."
Cricket.
Just get into gambling. You can do it
That
all.
sounds
No.
deal.
He's obsessed.
No.
Are you into that world too?
No. I've been offered to do gambling commercials as an actor, but I was like, no, I have, I have
he
some
would
morals.
love
you know.
to do.
It's up to the people. You're just promoting it.
Sam wants to switch more.
You're just like, hey, you want to do a parlay? I mean, even though there's big, you're going to lose your money, but I'm being paid by DraftKings. I'm going to talk about
I
it.
had an agent, and they said, "Do you want to do an ad for was it about $1,000 to promote a sports bet or something, some commercial?" And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous." And then they came back a couple of months later. This next ad's for gambling is $5,000. I'm like, "Ooh, losing my morals."
yeah.
And then the next one's like, "It's a $30,000 commercial."
only
I was
gonna
like,
get
"All right,
bigger, yeah.
I'm betting on this
Amen.
one. I'm
Yeah.
betting on."
They're only getting bigger, man, because that is.
Gambling's fine. It
Yeah,
adds-
all of a sudden I'm okay with it. All right.
no, I'm just saying it's all these about people becoming addicted and losing their goddamn kids' college funds.
Yeah, yeah.
That rarely happens.
You have-
There's
you
some
heard
other
it from
fat
Tom.
dads.
In Australia, you have to have there's gambling
They're
ads.
strict on it,
There's
yeah.
constantly gambling commercials now for sport, and it's ridiculous. But then all the ads have this thing now.
The
like,
warnings.
If
I
you
straight
have a
afterwards.
problem,
By the way,
yeah.
have you betting too much? And it's like, just don't do the ads. Like you're trying to sell the ad, and then you have to put this on the end. Like
They do that here in the
Yeah,
United States
they've
too.
started
where
doing them here.
I hate how you have to read off a bunch of in Arizona 4445. You have to read out the whole number, and the whole end of the commercial is where, and then the telephone number. I'm like, we have the fucking internet.
This is your hobby.
Plus,
This
one's
is your hobby. This is what you love.
no one's listening to this and be like, oh, write this. I didn't know where to find the number.
a real gambler's listening to those numbers, going, "Oh, they're my lucky numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna play.
Those are good numbers. I'm going to run them.
Let's run them."
That's
All right.
hilarious.
All right, we will leave for today.
we
He
will.
forgot how to end the show.
We will leave
I never
for
know how to
today.
end.
You started them.
We'll get out of here.
Well, Daniel's better at the outros.
You're one of the best, and
No,
you're not
come on.
best.
Come on,
No.
forget about
Go
it.
see Tom at Ailstone Pizza.
Yeah,
Ailstone
yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll be there.
Ailstone
Oh,
Brewery.
we got you.
All
We
right,
routed your brain.
oh God, I forgot to do that. I thought I was just gonna sit by my pool today. That's what I wanted to do nothing.
And I forgot I was going to. My family's going to see you. I'm like, I don't want to go to that shit.
All right, we will see you next week.
Awesome.